What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Tonight's an interesting night. Is The Rock the hero we needed all along? Mr. DC himself. Wait, what's that sound? It's the absence of Walter Hamada. Oh, let's shed a tear, shall we, for Mr. Hamada's last week? Or not. Tonight we're going to talk about the state of DC. Lots of interesting things going on in DC right now. And I don't mean the District of Columbia. What? Are you saying there could be a Man of Steel 2 starring Henry Cavill? Oh, a lot of L's. A lot of L's. A lot of L's. And Ezra Miller pleads not guilty. But there's a Flash 2 script out there. We're going to talk about it all here tonight in the Poindexter Lounge. Stay tuned.
Oh, that was...
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh. Some have even called me Enosh Fett because it was just a nickname that kind of stuck around there for a while. Not because it's my name, just because I like Boba Fett. And you know what? That's my business. And if you got a problem with that, then you know what? We could take that up later. But for right now, hey, today's a good day. Welcome to the lounge. If this is your first time to the lounge, just know that the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and all of us can get together and talk about the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. And if those things get you excited, then guess what? You have found the right place. So please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell and join us here. All right. Become part of us. One of us. One of us. You need to be one of us. Invite your friends, neighbors, even your mother-in-law. I think she'll like it too. So tell somebody about it today. And hey, it's just good to have you with us in the lounge. Now, I have to apologize because I have not yet updated this. I just have not had a chance to yet, but you know who you are, and I promise that the next video that we do, this will be updated. But I want to say a special shout out, as we always do, to our patrons. Thank you to all of our patrons. You know who you are. We're very, very grateful to all of you who support the channel, as well as all of the members. There they come right there. A lot of great members on here, and a lot of people, I apologize again that you're not on this list right now, but you will be on my next video. I promise. I had planned on putting you guys all in here today, but I got a call right before the show from family, and we had to talk about some things. But thank you to everyone also who gives super chats. It is greatly appreciated. It's never expected, but you guys are awesome when you do it. And of course, some of you, you like to forego the whole YouTube thing. You don't want to give YouTube any of your hard-earned money, and I don't blame you. But there are ways that you can support the channel right there, as well as, of course, our Teespring. All those links are in the description below. And, you know, the holidays are coming up, and, you know, get a little something for your sweetie, get a little something for somebody in your house. You can get one of these. You can go old school and actually like get the OG, as it were. The OG. I'm wearing the OG sweatshirt here with the whole family. Yeah. So become part of our nerd family. And that's all I got to say about that. Don't forget, we do have a giveaway right now. We're giving away this bad boy right here, this Scare Glow. We're not going to get to it tonight because we just got too much to cover tonight, and I got some great guests, and I want to get right to them. So we will give this away next time, and then don't forget, when we give that away, then we're giving away Fast and the Furious 1 through 7, a little box set. We got a bunch of other crazy stuff that I got to give away for all of you. I see all of you in the chat. You guys are all awesome. Thank you for showing up early. God knows I wasn't here early, but I thank you for that. And I will go back and I will read your comments later. I do see a couple here though. Man of Steel 2, let's go. Absolutely. I'm very, very excited about that. We're going to talk about this in depth. We got so much to talk about. The Hollywood Reporter article that came out, and so lots of good stuff. But Larry is here. Whoops. Larry's here with the $5 super chat to start us off. Says, will Ezra be next in line behind Hamada to kiss the mole? Kiss it. There it is. Kiss the mole. No, Hamada can kiss the mole. Actually, Hamada is how I got the mole. It's a little discolored now because after Hamada kissed it. But no. Ezra's not kissing the mole. Ezra's sticking around, buddy. We love Ezra around here, and you know, we just love the truth. So that's, you know, that's all we're really going for. So that being said, I would like to get right to our guests, because we got, like I said, a lot to talk about. But thank you all for being here. I do appreciate all of you with your love and your kindness that you show to me and all of us here at the lounge. All right. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, making his... Whoop, I didn't mean to click on that. What in the world? I didn't click that. Who clicked that? Brian, did you click that? It wasn't me. I got this cool little thing here, this ensemble here for us to stay on track. But ladies and gentlemen, we got a great night. Making his way back to the lounge. It's been a while since we've seen this young man. He's been all over. Naysayer of sorts sometimes, but we still love him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Brian, Master of None. What's up, Brian?
I have come to the lounge, hat in hand, begging for forgiveness from my friends, because I was one of the naysayers. Yes, I was an anti.
We still love you, Brian. Brian, I've always said, listen.
I wanted, so we're good, okay?
I always said, listen, when this stuff comes to fruition and the stuff starts to come full circle, we're not going to gloat. We're not going to like put people in their place and say you were wrong. There are some people who can carry that L, but all I said is come back and celebrate with us. So Brian, we love you.
Here I am.
Also, here you are. But also, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, all the way from parts up above United States, anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, you love him. No, it is not Ray Liotta back from the dead. It is Tony, the drunken Canadian. What's up, Tony? He's wearing. Look at that Poindexter Lounge stuff he's wearing. Look at there. You can get one of them
swag.
nice. Look at the swag going on this show.
I shouldn't
nice.
have machine washed
Nice.
mine. It faded so
Well,
bad.
you're supposed to. I've watched this thing many times. You got to turn it inside out, buddy. That's how you do that stuff. Okay.
I don't know,
Also,
this
ladies
is
and gentlemen,
great.
we
I
got.
don't know what you're talking about. This is great.
I know, man.
It
It's
just
great.
doesn't come through on the phone. I don't know. This is great.
I don't know.
It's nice
Also,
and
ladies and
warm.
gentlemen,
I've never had a hoodie, and until you, I now own hoodies. It's awesome.
well, you should because it's cold up there in Canada, eh? Also, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Shh. I'm introducing more people. Let's get the people in here, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, a guy that I love his takes. I love when he's unboxing his dark side. Wait a second. Oh, yeah, because, cool people show up when he does that, and, controversy ensues. I wish we'd had better questions for the man. That's what you get when you just get Zack Snyder randomly showing up on your stream on the vodka stream. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we got Scott McClellan. What's up, Scott?
Okay, I had to leave now because I told you I had 30 minutes, and
I know.
it's been 30 minutes, and I'm just,
It's my fault.
it's just, I like punctuality, Enosh. Punctuality.
I can leave. You can have my show.
I'll leave it to these two guys. It's okay. It's fine. We'll survive. We'll survive.
I apologize. It's my fault.
I know.
It
fine.
is my fault. It is my
But
fault.
it's fine. I'll just heat vision you.
Ooh.
Nice. I like that.
Okay, I'll see your heat vision and raise you an old school parademon.
Wow, that's a really funky looking parademon.
It does kind of have like a what's his name from Spider-Man look.
Oh, Green Goblin.
Green Goblin
Yeah,
look to it. Yeah.
Got a little Green Goblin look to it. Yeah. It does.
Now we know where they stole it from. Marvel. Ladies and gentlemen, also here, words of wisdom always flowing out of this man. I could listen to this man talk all day and all night. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stephen Colbert.
It's a good thing you'd listen all day or all night because I have a penchant for
Talking.
not
a lot.
for going and going and going.
And not
so
sleeping.
Right. I'll keep it as concise as I can though.
All right.
That's
Also
not
tonight,
saying much. That's not saying much at all, really. No.
Scott, I saw it when I joined and you were like, I said I had 30 minutes and you let this guy join.
hey, what can we say? Also here is RJ. What's up, RJ?
Hello, what's up, guys?
What's going on? And
Not
of
much,
course,
not much.
Anthony Beltray filling out things here.
What's up? Hello.
Okay, so I know that I'm already past his time. So I just want to get his take, if we can. Scott, what are your thoughts about the day's events and the stuff that has happened over this last week or so?
I'm not sure about the last week or so because I started a new job. So it's really funny when I get off of work and I'm catching up on the day's news. So I was sitting at soccer practice and I get this Hollywood Reporter article and I'm reading it. And I'm here for the Hamada shade. I am here to watch that man just get dragged through the streets like Game of Thrones going, shame, shame. I mean, dang, Boris Kits, that article just went hard, and I was there for it. It's kind of nice for once.
Yeah, isn't it? It's kind of nice, after all this time, to have just some I don't know. It's positive news for us,
Mm-hmm.
to just see this comeuppance and people that we've been told there's no way he's going anywhere. He's gonna be there. He's producing everything, and we can thank him for Henry Cavill coming back. I heard that this week. Yeah, apparently not.
Yeah, no, that was not even close to the truth.
That was
Well,
not
and
close to being right.
And that was the thing about the article that just I knew, and honestly, I thought it was going to happen after Black Adam got released. and it was going to be like official that the that the cameo is in the movie, because we all know the cameos in the movie because we're like plugged into the Matrix, but I thought we were going to wait till at least like the general audience found out after like at least opening day or opening weekend or something. But no, today they're already like, oh no, Hamada didn't want Cavill to come back. The Rock went behind his back to the new bosses. The new bosses were like, yeah, sure. It was filmed in mid-September. It's like, we're getting the whole like behind the scenes story, and the movie hasn't even come out yet.
Right.
And so I'm just here going, wow, we're just going ahead and like spilling the tea now, are we? Cool.
And it's surprising how late of an edition it was too. I mean, they like the article said like late, what was it, mid or late September? Like just a month ago this got filmed.
Mid September.
Well, I don't know. There are some reports of, like other people are reporting that the Hollywood Reporter got it wrong and that they need to, ask their sources again and double check their sources, because they were told that it was August.
It was August, yeah.
It's a moot point at this point. Like, I don't know why we're trying to second guess now.
But I thought it was interesting that they gave a Labor Day deadline to get the deal done. And so I think this goes back to a point, Steven, that we were making on the Vodka stream on Friday, that it was like The Rock played this masterfully. Like, San Diego Comic-Con was a stunt. San Diego Comic-Con was a negotiating tactic. And thankfully it worked, and now it's just like the lights being turned on and all the cockroaches are scrambling for the corner.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that, Scott, because like honestly, like this is my thought process. Pure conspiracy. I have no, obviously I don't know for sure. I honestly think that $7 Productions leaked to Deadline that Cavill may show up on purpose, just to see, to prove to the executives like, hey, people actually want to see Cavill back. So when he's not there and we get a bad reception.
But what about all the scoopers, though, RJ, that said that they had sources that literally said that he was going to show up?
I'm
just being a journalist here. I want to ask the hard question. Like there had to be some truth,
I think
right?
The Rock played 4D chess. I think like $7 Productions, somebody within there leaked this to everybody to get them talking about it.
Well, yeah. Well, and that lines up with, because what we were talking about, like Scott said on the Vodka stream, that I've been saying since then is, it struck me as really odd that The Rock has, dozens of times at that point talked about Black Adam versus Superman and who's stronger and what's going to happen if they get in a fight, and it always ends with a like, I'm coming for you, or some kind of a like hyping up the idea of a fight. And then he gets on stage at Comic-Con, and this is The Rock, who is like, he is The Rock because of his ability to get audiences to react the way he wants them to. He as a in wrestling, he gets them either cheer for him or his job sometimes. Yeah, as a wrestler, sometimes your job is to get boos. And so when he shows up in Hall H and says, well, who's going to win in a fight between Black Adam and Superman, a question he's answered a million times before, and at that moment says,
he's the heel.
Depends on who. Yeah, exactly. He says it depends on who plays Superman, and there's boos in the audience. He knew that was going to happen, and like per RJ's point, it would be really helpful to make that point if there were buzz ahead of time that Henry Cavill was actually going to be there, because that makes the we don't know who's going to play Superman reveal that much more frustrating, and puts WB on call. It has a whole audience at the biggest event of the year where you're supposed to be excited about the property, saying, like out loud, saying, shame on you for not having someone cast as Superman. Like that, The Rock doesn't. That's not a situation The Rock bumbles into. That's not a PR snafu on his part.
No, he's too good at this. He's too good at this, because as I made the point on Friday night was, and then he starts talking the Henry talk in the post-panel interviews.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do it on stage in front of the fans.
Right.
Well, and when they boo, he doesn't even say, like, well, hold on, we're going to make sure it's a good actor. Like, he just kind of lets that linger. Like, that made my point.
Yeah.
Like,
real quick. A couple things. First of all, Draga here with a $2 Australian super chat says, I'm happy Cavill is back, but I'm also worried. I don't know what you're worried about, but...
Of what?
I would like Context.
Yeah,
I mean-
me too. What
Yeah,
are you worried about, Drago? What are you worried about? And then also, ladies and gentlemen,
he
I
got
would
fat?
be remiss that he got fat. No, he didn't get
Got
fat.
fat in the off season. Sorry, bud.
But speaking of people who are PHAT fat, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. DL. What's up, DL?
Now, you can't have a Superman party without me. How's
There
that?
you go. Well, good to have you, DL. So, all right. So, and Caden's in the back. I don't know if we can find room for Caden. Caden's talked a lot of smack over the months, and I just don't know if
he's
if
a
I
Walter
feel like,
Hamada supporter.
I don't know if I feel like having Caden in here.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I should be here.
yeah,
you know.
just a supporter of things that I don't support.
Yeah,
Talking that shit. Talking that shit.
What is the case? Like, and it sounds facetious, but like my approach to all this stuff is always like, well, give the devil's advocate have their say. What is the case for Walter Hamada? I never understood that.
well, it's just a joke at this
what's
point.
the list of
So
movies
Canadian.
that he what list of movies did he greenlight and then see released? Like all
Yeah.
of the successes were greenlit before him, and then all of the biggest hits were successful despite him. He limited Joker's budget. Obviously, didn't want Zack Snyder's Justice League. The success of that is obviously, I don't need to get into that because that's always an argument. But like, it's not like the guy had a string of releases that were his baby, that were successful because of him. And then even with the Superman stuff, The Rock puts him on blast in an interview and is like, they didn't want it, and I did it anyway. Like, I don't see what the,
Yeah.
like, I'm open to hearing maybe he was good with numbers or something. I'm like that's cool, but like there's no slate to support the argument in my mind.
Yeah, it's funny now at this point. I mean, like, look, we sat here just a few months ago, and I have taken a tongue lashing
Wow.
from a tongue lashing from many people who claim to know more than anybody else, from people who have been friends of mine, who've claimed to know more about the industry, who've called me out, who've said things. And this is not part of it. Yeah, look, I am going to take a little bit of a victory lap here for just a second because, I had faith that some of this stuff was going to happen. But let's just be honest, right? Because there's been a lot of naysayers, and there's been a lot of people who didn't want to commit. And I'll even admit there's been some reasons why
I didn't want to commit. Oh.
There's been some reasons why certain people have not wanted to commit to that idea because it didn't seem conventional. It didn't seem to make sense that these things were going to happen to them. And I'll give you that, okay? And not everybody has the magic 8-ball that I have here that you have access to. If you give a super chat, you can ask the magic 8-ball the question of your choice. But look, there's some of us, like, I've been through mergers. I've been through huge corporate mergers. We've talked with other people on the channel who've been through mergers. We've seen how things go, and some of us were like, hey, you got to ride this out. You got to understand things are going to happen. Things are going to change. Was it for sure that some of this stuff was going to happen? No. But the idea that this stuff was impossible, and I mean, when you heard like people like Grace Randolph, for example, talking about just back in January, like, Ben doesn't want to come back. You guys need to shut up and leave him alone. Cavill's not going to come back. He's ruined every chance that he has. Warner Brothers doesn't want, nobody wants him. Like, everybody, just you Snyder fans need to shut up and go away, and some of us, we've been on that, like, that fence there of like, hey, we're still Snyder fans, but we're not complete idiots. We're not jerks. We're not saying that, some of the stuff that has been said, and we all know the stories. We all know the stuff that's happened over the last year.
Yeah, time for you to shut up, Grace. I'm sick of your
I'm
crap.
just saying, like, but the thing is like a lot of these people just can't stop. Like, they have to perpetually just keep on. And look, this is a good time right now. And I'll take the L for this. I will take my L for this. And I'll preface it even by saying, you all know that I'm not a huge fan of The Rock. Okay, as an actor or as a wrestler, I was never really a fan of The Rock.
What?
And I've been teasing The Rock. I've been teasing The Rock, and I think that this is hilarious now, because I've been teasing The Rock even on Twitter, like saying, look, all this talk is great, but ever since Fandom, when he came out and said we started the whole hierarchy of power thing, I said, look, if your Black Adam takes on any Superman other than Henry Cavill, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And I'm glad that he got it. Like, I'm glad that he got it. So, like, yeah, you know what? I start off this whole thing by saying, maybe The Rock is seemingly the hero we all needed. The kick in the pants that Warner Brothers needed to fight for it for 6 years. And even in the face of Walter Hamada saying, no. Well, guess what, Hamada? You're on your way out. And now that you're gone, guess what? I'm going to throw you under the bus and let everybody know that they were right about you. So, you know what? I will gladly take the L for saying that, I didn't feel that maybe The Rock was going to have that much influence. So here you go. For all of those of you who've hated on me, you know what? You are absolutely right about The Rock. Here you go.
Yay.
Here you go.
Damn.
No excuse.
Oh, take a burn.
Yeah, how's your foot taste your own butt, Poindexter?
Yeah, what?
So there you go.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go. I will take
money.
that one gladly for Henry Cavill to come back.
No,
and
listen,
we have a slate of movies that
he
look
was
good.
the one person I always believed. I always believed that The Rock would come through and at least make sure Black Adam was safe. I mean, maybe this is hyperbolic. I don't know, but I really feel like The Rock might have saved the DC extended universe. I really do feel that way. Just by securing Superman and making sure that he's continuing, that anchor character, that's such a huge thing, cannot be understated. How
I
important
love how
that
DC
was.
fans just cling to it. It's like the Marvel Universe is far better in cinema, and you guys just cling to each movie and hope that it's just better than the last one. I love.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know what he's
sorry.
saying.
Tony's
Somebody-
internet connection seemed to be going out there, man.
These Marvel fanboys, man. I can't stand it. I can't.
I love you, Tony.
I love how you guys just try to justify all the DC universe. It's amazing. It's funny to watch.
You know what, Tony? You are in the wrong place tonight.
Somebody could think.
You really are.
You know why? You know why? Because listen, one man coming back as Superman that some people would say, oh yeah, I don't even like him as Superman. He's created
I
more
love him as
stir. Just the
Superman. I love him as Superman.
Okay, but just the possibility, literally, of Henry Cavill coming back as Superman and all the hype, and then the leak of him actually coming back, and all these things has created more stir and more excitement and actually more forward momentum than anything that we've seen in a long time. And look, I make I know you're a Marvel guy, and you always will be a Marvel guy, but I still love you. But here's the reality. Here's the reality. And Tony, come in really close so that you can hear me.
Yeah.
F off. I love you.
Whoa.
But F off in love. How about that? Because you know what? DC is going to be eating good here for a while. It's going to be Thanksgiving time, and sometimes a turkey is just a turkey.
Marvel's still better,
dude. Just
and sometimes a turkey is
Marvel
something. I don't know. No, I'm just messing, dude.
Y'all
Listen.
pretending that DC hasn't put out any good movies the past couple years.
They totally have. That's what I'm saying. I think freaking Man of Steel was amazing, and I love the fact that he's back as Superman because I can't see another Superman. Honestly, since I was a kid, if it wasn't Christopher Reeve, it wasn't Superman until this guy.
And now he's back. Fourth 1,000 here with a $5 super chat says, I'm worried about the future of Superman being handled as generic looking as Black Adam. The movie looks exactly I imagine The Rock would make. What are your thoughts about that, guys?
I'll know when I see the movie on Thursday. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah,
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think that I'm not a huge fan of I don't really care about The Rock outside of anything other than just his status and pull kind of in Hollywood. I'm not really a fan. I don't hate or love him or anything. I just kind of observe what he does. But Black Adam is not striking me as some cinematic achievement that I'm thrilled for.
Yeah.
But what is most interesting about this entire situation for me, and I think what The Rock understands from as a business perspective or a PR perspective, is that if Superman is not on the chessboard, there's no game.
Right.
And so what's
100%.
big about Black Adam and what's big about what The Rock did here is not, and like I hate talking about it even this way because this is what I hate about the nature of shared universe movies is like this movie should be a good movie. This other stuff, the post credit scene or whatever, should have no bearing on the movie itself. So what this means for Black Adam, I don't care. That's a different conversation. But this single power move by him and like the stuff that was said in this THR article today gives I think it's the first time since like November 16th, 2017 that the DC EU has had a direction of any kind where people can look at it and say like, oh, I'm excited for where this is going to go. And because for that entire period from, under Walter Hamada and Jeff Johns, there's been no like, sure, there'll be reports come out afterward and say, oh, I was going to do a Crisis, I was going to do all this other stuff, but there were no chips on the board. There was no the Superman chess piece was not there, and you don't look at that and say like, oh, this is an exciting game. I want to see how this goes. There's just like
there wasn't phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 like Marvel.
And I liked Birds of Prey, and I like I enjoyed that stuff well enough, but like in a larger sense, it's like, okay, are these standalone movies or is there a universe, and what is there to be excited for? And that's, I think, where all this hype is coming from.
And there wasn't, because as Tim and I over at Squadcast showed by just our download chart, you could tell, like you said, after November 2017, we had objective data to show what happened from that point forward.
And look at the biggest DC news stories of the past 5 years have been like drama, basically internal drama and fandom drama about what direction will people be recast, will they be rebooted, is it a soft reboot or a hard reboot, and like all that's been, which is stupid because like nobody's talking about movies. We're not talking about movies. We're not enjoying any of this stuff. We're talking about like how will the business be handled. And so now in the course of like 1 week, they're like, here is how business will be handled. It's like, cool. Maybe we can actually talk about movies now for once instead of all this other stuff.
Well, it's kind of like the point, why a year ago, Tim and I just said, screw it to talking about news. And we said, no, we want to just talk about movies and trailers and like the product. We don't want to talk about how the sausage is made. And it's really funny. And it's really funny how a couple of weeks, and like there's listeners who are tweeting us going, are you guys actually going to start talking? Are you going to go back to being a news show again?
Right.
Because there's the possibility that maybe it's going to be fun to talk about this stuff again.
Well, because the people, that's what's so insane about it, because you're talking about covering the news, and that news was all being driven by people who, according to Dwayne Johnson, according to the Hollywood Reporter, were refusing to put Henry Cavill, like this Christopher McQuarrie idea was put out there in 2019.
Right. Like, I did a video about it.
Even
idea.
Like, and there's all this, and they're saying like now he's the front runner because of course the new executives come in and they look at that and they're like, you guys passed on that.
Especially from the director of Mission Impossible, which is like hugely successful.
I mean, the writer of The Usual Suspects, as a writer alone, he's accomplished. He's new to the scene when it comes to directing, and he's great at that also.
Stupid.
It's absolutely ridiculous that this stuff is all out there, and there are people behind the scenes who are actively saying no. And all of this drama, I don't want to say it's all about Snyder and the Snyder Cut, but what's so much of it revolved around that or was tangentially related to that. And what's so insane about that is like, regardless of if you like love the Zack Snyder stuff or hate the Zack Snyder stuff, from like a business perspective, if Warner Brothers truly wanted to move on and leave that behind, all they had to do was say yes to Christopher McQuarrie in 2019 and make that Man of Steel 2 movie with Christopher McQuarrie, and there would be enough excitement behind the alternative direction that the Snyder Cut would be fine. But instead, they just treaded water for years to the point where a remake of a 2017 movie is the thing that half of the fans are clamoring the most for in 2021. And like, I'm glad that it came out. I wanted the movie to come out and I loved it, but that's absolutely insane that the company didn't have a way of managing that situation better and nipping it in the bud all they had to do was say, yes, let's make a Christopher McQuarrie Superman movie or anything with
COVID.
Henry
Right.
all we
They
needed
made it
was
even
Henry
more.
Cavill as Superman. Like
Yeah.
you just, it's like you needed a Superman. You had to basically it was you had to crap or get off the pot, but you needed to do something with Superman. Stop talking about doing stuff with Superman and
Right.
actually
and then
do
when he does
something
show
with
up,
Superman.
it's a faceless
Seriously.
cameo, which is
COVID.
like he shows up in Shazam and he doesn't have a face. He shows up in Peacemaker and it's just a shadow. And like it's cool they're trying to mix him in there, but that sends a very clear, like, especially if you know what's going on behind the scenes. You see that and you're like, wow, that's like a really limp. Like that's not an exciting thing at all. You're using your post credit scene or your hype moment or whatever, the moment that's supposed to get fans excited, and what you communicate with it is, and we still don't know who plays this guy. Like,
And it
You
makes
mean
it
the
even
12
more
Superman?
awkward. It makes it even more awkward when the Snyder Cut came out. That not only was Snyder's like trilogy, I'm just using that word now, trilogy, that seemed to be the only thing that had a direction DC wise. But then seeing how Henry Cavill was in that version, that it was a lot better
without
than
the
what we got.
mustache.
Exactly.
And then it comes out and it's like Dark Side and all of this stuff is teased for the future, and people are saying, "Oh,
right.
yeah, we'll be excited for that." In the weekend, like it hadn't even been out for like 5 days, and Ann Sarnoff comes out with an interview in Variety and is like, "Nope, we're all done with all of that. We're gonna do something different. We won't tell you what it is, but it'll be something different." And it's like
the movie ended with 3 cliffhangers. And this had the biggest positive,
and like if you're so set against going in that direction, then put some other pieces on the board.
Right.
You're sitting there
well,
with this
and that's the thing, right? Like so,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's been my thing. It's like we as DC fans, and yes, I see you guys' super chats. I'm going to get to them as you guys give super chats. I'll absolutely get to them, so don't worry about it. I am getting to them, and but we're having a great conversation right now. The thing is like you guys said, like as a DC fan, it's been frustrating. And Tony, I'll give you this, right? Because as Marvel has just continued, and I don't want to make this a Marvel versus DC thing because it's not. As The Rock has even said, and that's what I'm loving right now about what
DC
The Rock
too,
is saying.
though.
I know, but no, I'm just referencing what you, because I know that you're a big Marvel guy, and what you said is true to a point, because Marvel kept putting out hit after hit after hit, and had developed this thing where basically they could do no wrong. I mean, like they could literally have made that movie from
they made Guardians of the Galaxy and it fucking
the Guardians of the Galaxy was great, but I mean, like at one point, I mean, like literally, what was the movie Idiocracy? Remember? And they had the movie that was just ass. Right, there was just a guy's butt cheeks, and it was like it won the Academy Award. That like it felt like Marvel could literally put that movie out, slap the MCU on it, and like people would have gone, "Yeah, it's part. I'm waiting for the next Marvel movie."
Well,
and so
look at what it is that drives the Marvel hype too. And I don't like this. It's a criticism I have against Marvel, but I think everyone would agree that it's also like what gets people hyped is the movie comes out, and even if people like. The discussion over whether the movie itself, whether it's good or bad, is all almost secondary to that post credits or whatever happens at the end of the movie to tease the next movie. Everyone's always excited about what's next.
Yeah, because they know how to create forward momentum.
Exactly, and so like even if the movie is like mediocre or whatever, it doesn't matter anymore because people aren't excited. People aren't excited about the individual installments. They're excited about the franchise and the what's next aspect of it. And whenever DC tries to do that, they're like, oh, what's next? Maybe Superman, maybe with a face, maybe with like there's no
maybe it's gonna be a girl this time. We don't know.
And
maybe we're getting rid of Batman and
give me a headless Superman movie. I don't care. Just announce it and like make it. Like that's more exciting than the like, well, maybe not. Like, but we have a plan, supposedly. Like it's there's no.
I love Tiffany. Tiffany's watching. She's like, it's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
That is true.
It is a hot ass though. Yeah, it's not America's ass though. That's Marvel has the market cornered on that.
Yeah. Well, just real quick, I just want to say this for like, because I'm a Marvel fan, obviously. Like,
sure.
I will say though, like, and this is not me trying to like get into, oh my god, Marvel's falling off. Because I don't think they're falling off per se, but like, there's chips in the armor to where I don't think they can just release anything right now. I mean, even right now, they're kind of going through like this restructuring thing. It's like, okay, let's like push some stuff back. Let's rework a couple of our projects. Let's like really try and like not push out as much content, quote unquote content. I mean, you're hearing about them like pulling back on series and focusing more on special presentations after War by Night, which I'm on board for, by the way.
Sure.
But like, I
I
feel
like
like there's
Werewolf
ships
by
in the
Night.
armor right now. So if anything, this is the prime time for DC to show up and be like, "Hey, look what we got over here." You know, like
Well,
this is the time
this
like,
is
actually,
what
like, get on the pot and do something.
and this is
So-
what I
when people
appreciate
think
about
of
The Rock.
DC, when people think of DC, they think of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. That's it. That's all. Maybe
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
I mean,
Flash.
I
Momoa
think
did a great job.
after
Suicide
Aquaman made
Squad.
$1 billion,
Momoa did a great job.
I think
But
you could
after
do.
those
I think
four
you say
guys,
Aquaman.
who you got?
Suicide Squad.
Nobody that anybody. For me, I want to see Green Lantern.
Suicide
For Christ's
Squad.
sakes, that's my favorite. I want to see Green Lantern. I want to see Flash. But honestly, that's the problem with DC is there's only like really 4 or 5 characters that anybody who's not into comic books knows. Marvel, they know them all. They know that there's X-Men and there's like a bunch of
Well,
them.
now they know.
Wolverine,
Now
they do.
Now they know.
Now they know.
I think
Now they know. I
that's
will
an
push
interesting-
back on that, Tony, because
Nobody cares about
before Iron Man,
Thor,
hold on,
Guardian.
before Iron Man hit, there were people who knew who Iron Man was or had heard of Iron Man, but nobody was like only the diehard fans were.
Or like
You
we
know,
were just
nobody
talking
likes
about
Guardians,
right?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like,
that's
nobody
fine,
knew
yeah.
who Guardians of the Galaxy was.
That's what
I didn't know who
that's
Guardians
what
of the
I said
Galaxy
before.
was.
Nobody
Yeah, I
knew
didn't-
who Guardians were.
Yeah,
But I
that's
think
the thing.
that's what a big thing revealed in this piece is it talked at the beginning about. It said there's I think like a secret fire sale or not fire sale, but like a power struggle or whatever over all the different DC properties right now. And I think that's part of it may be a little bit dangerous. The studio needs to handle it right, but I think part of what there's so much excitement for is that it's clear that this kind of IP has a lot of potential now, and DC for so many of its characters has just been mismanaged and underutilized. And so there's a lot of filmmakers and creatives out there right now who are looking at the situation and saying, oh, wow, there's nobody in charge. They want to do something with it. It's ripe for someone to come in and find the DC Guardians of the Galaxy and find what are these lesser known DC properties. Obviously, the big ones need to be propped up first, but once you have, as Zack Snyder said, you have to get Superman's house in order first. Once Superman is there, anything you put under that can be lifted. A rising tide lifts all boats. And so when you have him in place, there's all these opportunities to do all this different stuff. And I think that there's a lot of people looking at the situation at the studio now saying like, oh, wow, I want to go get a Plastic Man movie made. I want to go do this, make that happen. And so there's actually a lot of like creative investment of people hoping to kind of get a piece of that pie while the watchers aren't like hoarding the gold anymore like they have been for the last few years.
Well,
I go back to the list of movies in development that's on my show notes page that I'm just like, how many freaking titles that actually had writers and directors and or actors announced and attached.
Mm-hmm.
And over the last 7 years, y'all have either never knew these things were happening or have forgotten that these things even were once a thing.
I'm still waiting on Nightwing. I'm still so.
Oh, from Chris McKay? Yeah, I
Green
know.
Lantern.
Right?
Where's
Nightwing.
Green Lantern?
It's over Nightwing that I got in trouble with everybody. That everybody tells me I'm not a Zack Snyder fan because when Zack started talking about how Dick was the Robin that died.
Robin.
Yeah, and all I said was, like I have this love-hate relationship right now with Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
He's not doing DC movies anymore. Why is he talking about this? And I didn't really know much about the Snyder Cut stuff. And I was just like, I would love to see that Nightwing movie.
They made it, didn't they? Like in
No.
animated back in the
No.
80s? Was it called Darkwing Duck?
Titans. I'm talking about Titans.
Was it called
whatever.
Darkwing Duck?
Real quick here, Draga explained himself a little bit with a $5 Australian
Joke.
super chat. Thank you, Draga. Says, I'm worried because remember he said that I'm worried about Henry Cavill. He says I'm worried that they're going to Superman Returns him. This is what I would say to that. I know that there's people who are apparently worried because they're playing the John Williams theme.
Why?
I'm cautious about look. I'm not panicking about the John Williams theme thing. Sure, do I wish that they had Henry's theme because it's Henry, whatever. Yeah, but I've kind of started to understand what they're doing with this is that theme is just going. It's forever related with Superman, regardless of Christopher Reeve, regardless of who. Like it's showing up in cartoons, it's showing up in just references about Superman and just different things, whatever. And even though we may know better, Yeah, even though we may know better, okay, the reality is when somebody hears dun 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 dun, it's Superman.
It's Superman.
It's and you could say it's nostalgic, but you got to remember it's by the same guy and around the same time that we also got themes like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Jaws,
oh, I was gonna say, do the Star Wars theme. Come on.
Right? You know.
Okay, then
Indy.
don't give Batman
Indy.
6 different
Do
themes.
Jaws.
Well, but you know what, DL? I get you. Batman gets all these different things, but honestly, as a kid, you know what I was singing every time I was playing with my Batman figure, and still goes in my mind when I'm putting my Batman figures up.
Oh,
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. That to me, that theme slaps. So listen, I get it. I don't think though. I don't. This is my personal thing, and I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be playing that clip I just played again here in a few months. I don't think though that they're going to. I don't think that this is like a referendum on we're going to make Henry Cavill another Christopher Reeve.
Well, this is my personal. Like I always
What's
took
wrong
it
with
as
that,
okay.
though?
We're
What's wrong with
reintroducing
I think
the
it means a
character.
lighthearted take on the character that people are going to disagree with.
Maybe lighter, but I think for everybody to lose their crap over it, I think is a little too much.
The reason why they chose that theme is because it's one, as y'all mentioned, everyone knows that Superman,
iconic,
and also it's reintroducing Cavill back into the DCU. So it's like, here's the return of Superman. Here's the theme also from the previous.
Yeah, you play
It's
something
been 6
familiar.
years. Yeah, been 6 years since I see
the
Superman.
celebration of Superman here.
I like it. I like
you have
that
the
a
best
lot.
current Superman, and also you have the most iconic theme for Superman, all in one scene. Here's the celebration of Superman in this one scene.
Didn't they play it in Justice League though? Like the
Very
theme too?
briefly. It was
a
super.
little bit though. In the '89 theme too, they played too a little bit.
Yeah, because I can tell you guys, because what happened was they played a minor key inverted version of the Superman theme during the Heroes Park fight, and then you heard the Batman theme when the Batmobile shot out of the Flying Fox in the Russian city, and it didn't work, but they did it. Yeah. So the Superman theme at least Elfman did something with it rather than just what he did with the Batman theme, which was flat out just played the Batman theme. But you know, that's what happened there. So, you know, it's neither here nor there. It's 11:35. I gotta go up and get to the office in the morning. But thanks for having me on, Enosh.
Hey, Scott, you're always welcome. We still got to do this toy show, man. We still got to do this toy show. We got.
Oh, hold on. You want toys? You want toys? Let's see.
We got to have another meeting.
Let's see. Okay, there's that one. Okay, let's see. Because you know what, I'm welcome for.
Do you have the McFarlane Blue Beetle booster gold set?
I had to cancel. I had to cancel that for financial reasons. But I was going to get it. I pre-ordered it.
Well, going to and not and actually having it are two different things.
I know that's the case. I did, however, get the.
But you have that dark side, so I got to shut my mouth.
But you know, I got both my Supermans right here, so you know, there we go.
From Zack Snyder Justice League.
Yeah, I got the
canceled. He was not. No. Blue suit. No.
Blue suit.
So I got both of them. But I did get the complete Arkham City set where I can build my Solomon Grundy.
Oh,
okay. Well,
nice.
But do you have Hopper?
I don't care for Hopper, so that's okay.
Hooper. And I got. Have you seen that cool Jaws 3D poster thing? I have that now.
But I do have this in reference to my last appearance on Batman the Animated stream, because you know we talked about this.
That's
nice.
That's an awesome pop.
Very nice.
So there we go.
Do you have that?
Is this a toy
I do
off?
have this.
Is this a toy off?
I do have Speeding Bullets. Because that was my first Elseworlds. That was my first Elseworlds comic.
There you go.
You need to talk to Max, Enosh, about that Superman you got there.
I know. I got to get Max on the Max and I got to do the stream where I open the Hot Toys that he gave me because I still haven't done that. I do have this Superman, sexy Superman.
Is that from 300?
No, that's end of state. That's end of state. That's the future state.
Yeah.
Oh, Future State. Oh, I forgot that comic existed.
But Scott, Scott, it's always great having you on here, man. You rock.
Thank you.
I appreciate
this
you,
is.
bro.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I know it was nice. It was nice to get to talk to Scott for the first time on a stream. Because actually, funny story, Scott and I went to the same movie theater with the Batman. When,
Yes, we
that
did.
IMAX 08. Yeah,
we did.
Fun.
It was so funny because you recognized me, and then literally like 2 weeks later, a guy at my Walmart grocery store recognized me, and I was just like, "What is going on?"
Right?
How are all these people in Birmingham who know? Who
Right,
I
man.
am?
You know the weird. I think I've had a couple people recognize me in TIFF, like out and about. The funniest thing that ever happened to me was to run into somebody who was wearing a Poindexter Lounge T-shirt.
Yeah, that's.
And I was like,
a really surreal moment. It's
I was like,
what?
"That's cool. That's cool." So
I didn't realize the other day that it says I'm proud to be a nerd on the back of this hoodie that I'm wearing right now. And a girl came into the bar. She's like, "I'm a nerd too," and high-fived me. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "It says you're proud to be a nerd." I was like, "I thought it said the same thing on both sides." And I learned.
Here my hoodie's trying to get you laid, and you're just like,
"Huh?
I don't what? Huh?
What?
Yeah. It worked out fine. Thank you.
There you go. Oh, okay. All right.
Oh.
Hey now.
There you go.
We got a member chat here, and I got to get to a couple more of these super chats. 21 months, man. Kinky Sphincter. Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much, man. It's good to have. Scott, you get the Zack Snyder Justice League Batmobile from Jazz Inc.
No, dude. I changed jobs. I had to pay $600 shipping for that Darkseid statue.
No batteries? No batteries?
No batteries included. Yes, exactly.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I still had to go, but Ray Porter was correct. CVS had them. I went right up the road to my CVS and got them. So, you know.
Cool.
All right.
All right, Scott. Hey, man. Thank you so much for being here. Tell everybody where they can find you, man.
Well, of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You can find my podcast at DC Squadcast, wherever podcasts can be found, including our latest episode of Batman the Scene by Scene that just dropped tonight, talking about Batman and Catwoman in the mayor's apartment. We're on Vero, Facebook, YouTube with entire network shows at squadcastmedia.com. And you can find me every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central at Film Junkie, as we talk about every episode of Batman the Animated Series on Batman the Fanimated Stream. We just had our stream of Mask of the Phantasm Saturday night, and this Sunday we'll be talking about the first episode of season 2, Sideshow.
I feel like we should be ending the vodka stream right now.
You should be. Like, I'm leaving. The show's over. Good night, everybody. Tip your waitress.
All right. We'll see you later, Scott.
Bye, guys.
Okay, finally we can get started with this thing. Okay, cool. Also, hey, here's TW. TW hasn't been here in a while. What's up, TW?
Hi, guys.
Hey, man.
Now you can leave.
All right.
TW.
So, okay, real quick, I got to get to these super chats, and they will spur more conversation. Draga here says, with a $10 Australian super chat, thank you, buddy. Says it's not because I'm a huge Snyder fan. I binge watched Superman the animated series and other animated films. I don't want him to be the two-dimensional character that WB sees him as.
I agree.
And I think a lot.
The most encouraging thing on this aspect for me from that article was the name drop of McQuarrie as one of the studio's top targets for writer, or not top targets, but it was one of the something about
wish list.
On their wish list. Thank you. That's a good word. And I hope it's him, but if it's not, it's still a really encouraging sign to see that's the direction they'd like to go, because I saw he had a tweet. One of his old tweets was going around earlier, where he actually said, "No, Superman is a potentially great character, though admitting a challenging one. The studio continues to try and define him by who he fights and not who he is. Meanwhile, Superman's greatest adversary has always been himself. Be true to that character and you'll be delivered." So if that's the kind of writer that they want to be behind the next one, like I'm good with that direction. I think that's a good
Indirect too.
Yeah, no, for sure. William here says with $2 super chat, I'm old. That's all I'm saying. Is I'm old. No. All that was needed was
Wow.
patience and common sense. No, I agree with you, bud. I
That's
I
true.
mean,
absolutely agree with you.
William had a lot of patience because he's been waiting for this for like 300,000 years.
That's true.
Like,
That's true. I mean,
he-
the older you get, the more patience,
and
it kicks in.
yeah, but he doesn't have common sense because he thinks Namor is not a mutant.
But
Oh,
yes, but look, Zeno is absolutely right. Cavill is too old to be playing Superman at this point.
I guess The Rock's too old to play Black Adam.
yeah, The Rock is 50.
Nah, Zeno is
Yeah, you guys don't get the reference. You
Zeno's
guys don't get
He's
the
being
reference.
Zeno's
No,
poking a
you're
little
not.
fun at a certain
Just
someone
look up
who.
the TMZ article. Just look up
Yeah,
the
TMZ
article.
reported that Cavill was too.
And that article
old.
became too famous for no reason.
Yeah. Daniel Martin here with the $5 super chat says before this, Hamada was going all in on the Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman in an Elseworld story, while Cavill was on the sidelines from this report.
Which surprisingly, it's not completely dead yet, which is odd to me. It's not
It's
like
gonna be dead.
100% dead, like it's close to death, but it's not done yet.
Please die.
Which-
Please die.
It's Mysterious in episode 2.
Actually, I don't mind. I think it's a kind of cool pitch that has potential, but not. It's not a. It's not a franchise direction. It's like a phenomenal one-off. That sounds like a great concept for an Elseworld story, but and like I'd love to see that interpretation, but it's just weird for it to be like that's your answer to the demands for a Superman that they build the universe around.
Right.
It's a Black Clark Kent story. Like, JJ, what are you thinking? You have Michael
Right.
B. Jordan, call Michael B. Jordan, and have him do Val Zod. And there you go. As a one-off story. It'll be great. Or Icon, like DL said.
Well, and that's what everybody's been wanting, and that's what even we've been talking about. That it's
Yeah,
like, look,
Val Zod.
look, nobody had a problem with them doing a Black Superman movie. It's what movie are you doing? Because there's characters that are really awesome that are Black Supermen, and what story are you trying to tell? Like, and I still have yet to know any of my friends.
The Michael B. Jordan Val Zod thing, which surprised it wasn't also like there's a lot of things in that article that I was surprised that wasn't mentioned, like with specifically also Michael B. Jordan's Val Zod, because the topic of Superman was brought up with Ta-Nehisi Coates. So I'm looking.
My understanding is a lot of stuff that was in this article was actually almost reported a few months ago and it got shelved. I'm not sure why, but apparently there's more to come, which I think is going to probably happen after Black Adam, and I don't know what it is. So I don't know if it's related to that or something else, but this is not the entirety of the story of the developments that are going, which is kind
I
of
mean,
exciting to
Sean
know.
O'Connell and Grace Randolph, however you feel about those two people, were teasing about something with more to the Man of Steel story, and then of course I'm sure, as you know, like I'm sure a lot of people were anticipating that there was going to be a Cavill announcement the Monday following Black Adam's release. So I'm sure there will
Although I
be
will
more.
say about that whole Grace thing, like to me it seems like she's like trying to be like, oh, the reality check is it's going to be many years away. Well, no, duh. I mean, listen, they haven't even hired a writer yet. Of course, it's going to take a few years to get something right.
No director, no writers. Like, come on, guys.
Like people look at especially when it comes to like scoops and stuff, but news in general too much as like fact cards, where it's like the point of scoops is to say like this is what's actually going on, and this stuff is all so organic. Look at like Batman. Affleck as Batman is a great example. And it's especially once you start getting like all the scoopers in who are like, Man of Steel 2 and Affleck returning as Batman are all like, we see one of those every month from, some YouTuber or scooper, whoever is trying to get something up. I always say whenever it comes true, it's like the Lego Batman throwing the batarangs and then eventually he's like first try. And like, that's what happens with a lot of this stuff. But, people like to take, especially when you have like sides in the issue, and people want one direction for the franchise, people want another direction for the franchise, and so these reports come out, and people are like, look at this nugget of information proves my side. but it's all always in flux. So like, well, yes, it was true. Cavill was gone and Affleck was gone and Affleck had lost interest and all that sort of stuff. Those things were all true at a certain point in time, but that's all part of a developing, continuing story. The situation changes. Obviously, the company got sold multiple times, and so when these things happen, they can't be taken as like this is the way things are and will always continue to be in perpetuity. The information is you track it and say, oh, how is it changing? What's the direction of like what's the character arc of this franchise, right? And so this kind of stuff, this is a huge moment in that character arc for the DCEU of like if it's Joseph Campbell, right? This is the resurrection, right? Like that's where we are in the DCEU monomyth right now, right? So that's what's always really weird to think when people are like, oh no, it'll never happen. It's like, well, you never say like in general, but like especially in news like this, never say never. It's like that's a really responsible way to report or treat any of this stuff. It's not now, and in order to change, X, Y, and Z would need to happen. And then what happened? Well, X, Y, and Z happened, and so now here we are. Like, and that's if it had been framed that way, a lot of people who had said never wouldn't look so dumb because they would have said, well, look, it happened how I said it would. I said it wasn't at the time, and these things will need to happen. I doubt they'll happen, but then they do. And then you're not wrong for your analysis of the situation. You're just wrong for your flipping a coin on whether or not whether or not the stars will align. No one knows if they'll align or not, but you can say, if they align, this will happen. If they don't align, this other thing will happen.
So are you saying that Grace Randolph is not true when she says you Snyder stans can say whatever you want, but Dwayne Johnson has proven all of my reporting to be correct regarding Superman until very recently? Suits 100% said no way, this new cameo was just filmed in September, all of which I
She
read.
did not record it.
Hold on.
That's a great example though, because what she's saying when she said Cavill's not coming back, she was right at the time that he was not signed. Her mistake is that you don't report that as never coming back. Never. You can't prove something will never happen. You can only prove that it's not what's going to happen right now. And so the situation changed, and she kind of lost the plot in the way that she reported. This isn't even defensive of her so much as like the information that she reported at the time when she said it was correct, but the way she framed it and the way she dug her heels in on it was like not doing herself any favors. But she's trended on Twitter because of it, so I would argue that it was intentional.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy,
I wasn't wrong. I was right when it mattered at the time.
Yeah, keep moving the
goalposts,
Grace.
I just didn't want to get my hopes up. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
the important seems to be on being right than just waiting it out.
Listen. I want to distinguish something because listen, this man right here is my friend. Okay. He is. Brian is my friend, and where I will say that Brian has gotten depressed over stuff and like upset over stuff and like brought the whole show down a couple of times.
It's just been bad interactions in other places besides here.
Exactly, exactly. But I do want to, in my defense of Brian, I want to say about Brian. Brian's whole thing has never been about like. Brian's not trying to gain clout by saying he didn't believe something was going to happen. Brian always comes from stuff, and I'm telling your story, but I'm just saying, I'm telling you, Brian, like I get what you like. You're coming from the everyman point of view. Is like I don't see how this is going to happen. I'm just being honest. I'm not going to tell you something that you want to hear, Enosh, or anybody on the panel, just because you're my friends or because I think that you guys want to hear something. This is what I felt, and I'm tired of you all arguing about it and everything. Where there have been, I want to distinguish Brian from the people who are just literally clout chasers and people who are doing the exact thing that they accuse everybody else of doing and are just trying to gain notoriety for their YouTube channel or their blog or their podcast or whatever. And I mean, I think of like William here. William's been coming on the lounge for how long, William? Like a year and a half?
Thousands of years.
About a year.
Yeah.
About 55 years
and
ago.
the thing is like William and I have found ourselves in controversy with people who just don't
heated debates
believe, like we do, because it hasn't been good enough. Me and William have never been one of for some reason I get classified as being a Snyder bro by the people who hate Snyder, and the people who are obsessed with Snyder, who are Snyder bros, they don't like me. So it's like I don't fit in anywhere in those things. And so for me and William to just sit here and go, hey, this is the way we see it, this is what we think is going to happen. They're literally people who are just like, no, they're not going to take that for an answer. They want to categorize us somehow. And they have held our feet to the fire and told us that we were stupid and didn't know what we were talking about. Whole videos.
An anti, a beta.
Well, and
yeah,
here's the thing, and I mean, you guys are great. So this isn't a judgment on anybody, but like you guys and them and all of us, anybody.
Yeah.
None of us know what's going.
Exactly.
Like there's people who are like, doing victory laps. I was right. It's like, no, you weren't right. You just happened to believe in something that you had no.
Right.
Like you aren't in those meetings. You like in the people doing the victory lap or otherwise. Like you weren't in the boardroom. You didn't see the contracts. You just happened to have faith that something was going to happen. But we
educated guesses.
Yeah, and like there's nothing wrong with, well, not even educated guesses, but like people who aren't even trying to say it for clout purposes, like people who aren't like trying to build themselves up as a scooper. You have fans who are like, I was right the whole time. It's like, well, that's great. Yeah. But like you weren't right. You just got your way, and that's awesome. But it had nothing to do with you having special knowledge or knowing something that other people didn't. You just chose something else, and your decision was less based on your expertise in the business of Hollywood and more to do with your alignment of your fandom.
Well,
it happens
with
to be
me,
something that you
my
wanted.
decision. With me, it was basically nothing that was happening in the last 6 years made any business sense. Nothing. And not the decisions that they were making, not the IP decisions that they were making, not the personnel decisions that they were making. Nothing fit. Nothing fit long term and nothing fit short term. So every time I heard somebody trying to defend, not even defend, but try to justify why Hamada and anybody associated with him would be here any longer than they needed to be, especially with a pending merger, I always looked at him and like, I don't understand. Make your case for these guys. There's not a dollars case. There's not a cents case. There's not a structural case. There was no case for even Hamada to be even hired. And that's nothing personal against him. Some people just aren't the right people for the right job. And, but vilifying him and hating him and doing all that stuff, it really didn't need to come to that. He just was not the right person for that job.
Go back to
he never was.
2012, what Alan Horn and Jeff Robinoff left the studio. I just tweeted an article from Deadline that I tweet whenever there's a big change with WB like this.
I have that article pasted somewhere.
Written by the late Nikki Finke, who and it's basically like a live blog of the crumbling of Warner Brothers. I mean, this like the first paragraph is Friday 5 a.m. second update, and the next paragraph is Thursday 6 p.m. updated, and it's all like a fly on the wall view of the room where it happened, of like the Kevin Tsujihara takeover of WB, and I won't go through the whole article, but I mean, this has been stuff that's just been a problem for a long time. And I think I mentioned this last time I was on here, but one of the most like eye-opening things that I've ever kind of learned from being involved in this, I was talking to someone who was involved in production on some of the Snyder movies back before the Snyder Cut was announced, and I gave this whole kind of pitch about like, well, if A happens, then B happens, and then this movie does well, and then that'll maybe get things greenlit, and then the movie will come out. And I finished my whole like, feverish Charlie from It's Always Sunny cork and yarn board conspiracy about like, this will make it happen. And they took a deep breath and they said, yeah, that makes a lot of logical sense. What you need to understand is that these people don't make decisions based on logic. And that was, after that, it kind of killed my fan brain, where I was like, oh, because it's so easy to see this stuff and get wrapped up in like, oh, this makes sense that this will happen, and it makes sense that that'll happen. And we all get wrapped up in this. Oh, all the evidence is there. But like at the end of the day, that's not always what the person signing the checks is looking at. And we've seen that happening forever. And so kind of what's happened finally is somebody with enough pull, The Rock, and I'm sure there's other people involved, but The Rock is the face of it. But somebody with some balls finally said, what the hell are you doing? And made a decision after years of them just like floundering around. So it's a huge development.
The most important thing that he said during the two Rock interviews was that he doesn't want to bite out of the Marvel apple. He wants to create a DC apple. That's the mentality that needed to be in place for 9 years now.
Right.
And that is the most important thing. I know the Superman revelation and the plans that have been announced today are really, really important. But the bigger and larger, more important thing is that mentality that he just voiced. If they'd have had that mentality back in 2013, we wouldn't have that stupid ass $1 billion complex that every Superman and Batman movie needed to be $1 billion. They would have progressed within themselves.
And this is all stuff that, like, and I keep on going back to this. This isn't even all meant as like.
Yeah, he sounds tired. Yeah,
it's exciting news.
He got up to go to the refrigerator to get a ice cold pop, and
I'm not.
Nobody got time for that.
I actually got to go. I'm in the middle of a warehouse. That's why.
No warehouse with top men. With top men, apparently.
When William was talking, I shared the deep breath. I'm like, "Geez, William, calm down."
Everything's fine, guys.
No, I gotta
I'm
move
not gonna
around
talk
here. I'm
crap,
outside.
dude. You should hear me go get brake pads.
Oh, guys. Keep going upstairs, bro.
You need rotors too? Oh god damn.
Hey, if you guys are still on an hour, I'll jump on in.
All right, check that heart rate, bro. Check that heart rate.
Yeah,
All right.
go to the hospital after.
Hey, a couple things. First of all, here, Jared Jar Jar's Faja with a 13-month Uber Nerd super chat. Thank you, buddy, so much for being here, man. Says, now that we know Cavill is back, I just hope he stays and we get Man of Steel 2. Well, according to the article, and look, we've had a big enough panel, like I was going to read the article, but like it's a really long article and we're not going to read the whole thing tonight, but basically we're hitting all the finer points of it tonight. Hamada gone. Man of Steel 2 actually being written in the early development.
Not only was Hamada gone, but that particular couple sentences was brutal. Where it's like he's packing up. They're basically like, as we write this, he's packing up the last of his personal effects. He doesn't even get a compliment or a what's the
he gets no producer deal because Toby Emmerich got that. Toby Emmerich got that deal.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Yeah,
basically, which is shocking because again, Toby Emmerich got that producer deal as he left. Walter Hamada's like, no, just go.
But Toby been in the company for a long time. That's the reason why he got it. And
yeah, well, and I mean, Toby's been around since like back with like the Lord of the Rings movies. I mean, so
which is crazy.
So we people don't like his tenure with DC. What he did with New Line was really great, and it's probably to his not to his benefit that it's like the Peter principle. You get promoted to the highest level of your incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
And he was great, handling smaller budget stuff that kind of blew up under New Line, and they put him in charge of a much bigger slate with much more highly valued IP, and he just kind of crumbled.
Yeah,
Walter just a yes man to Toby. Mm-hmm. That's what he was.
Well, I wanted to mention
real quick before you mention whatever, I do want to thank Rhea. Rhea did this, so we need to mention this. This is really cool of Rhea. She gifted 5 Poindexter Lounge memberships to some various people. And I'm looking into this more. Honestly, I forgot that this existed. It's been so long since I've been streaming regularly. Yeah, and so I got to look more into this because I know that there's some of this. But thank you, Rhea. That's a really nice
5
thing.
membership. That's very
generous. Heck yeah. So thank you, Rhea. You are awesome. Rhea is pretty sweet, and we thank her for being a part of the lounge. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna mention because I know we're talking about Man of Steel 2. I just want to mention because this is like super important before like.
Hold on a second. William, dude, it's okay, bro. You don't have to explain to us why you were totally out of breath and you're like ancient. Like you it's okay. He's like God, and he's still trying to explain. No, guys, really, man. I was changing a propane on a forklift, and I was talking to you guys, and I was running a marathon, and I was writing the new Man of Steel movie, and
fighting aliens. Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Okay. No. So what I was going to say was that, like, honestly, like in terms of the Man of Steel conversation, honestly, it is like super imperative. Like, you need collectively, if you love DC and you love Superman, you really want to see Henry Cavill come back, you need to go see Black Adam this weekend.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, I'm going Friday.
Sure.
No. Like, I'm not even like.
I
know people are like, because listen, I'm not gonna tell somebody what to do with their money per se. Like, if you want to boycott it, fine. But if you really, really, really want to see more of this stuff, like you want to see more of the DCU and Superman, particularly, you have to go support this movie. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, this movie cannot afford to fail. It really can't.
Yeah. Well, if you want anything particular out of the franchise, I won't say, any specific direction, and your perspective is all or nothing, then it's nothing, right? You're not going to get the all, and that goes for everyone. Whether it's Snyderverse, whether it's reboot, whether it's whatever, nobody is going to get everything that they want. And if they demand to get all of their demands in order to support stuff or nothing, then it's gonna be I guess unless you want a full reboot, in which case that's
But
Yeah,
all I
that's a
want is
terrible idea.
all I want is good DC movies, and then eventually get into a direction where they can have a coherent DC universe. That's all.
Right. I'm just saying, like they don't put like most of their marketing on the back of Superman without the intention being, please go see this movie if you want more Superman. That is the message they're sending out there. Like, if you want more Henry Cavill, you need to go support this movie.
Well, technically, they did spoil the ending of.
Well, I mean,
well,
yeah,
that's why they
'cause
did it.
That
Why
one,
they
that's
did
why
it.
that
they-
scene,
and
that one scene when you say send them all, that was, they kind of, they put in the trailer, which is good marketing.
And I think after the long gap, and a lot of the general audience isn't necessarily aware of the insanity with what's going on with Henry
Yeah.
Cavill. But I think with the long gap and a lot of the stuff that's gone on with the franchise, and now bringing Cavill back, not that I don't like using Marvel as a model or formula for how to model other things, but I think if you look at like the Spider-Man No Way Home kind of effect of the nostalgia that people feel for Toby and Andrew, and Cavill's been in one solo movie, and it was a decade ago almost. And so I'm not saying that he's on the same level as Maguire or Garfield because they had more movies as their characters. But I think you've got possibly someone like McQuarrie coming in. Cavill has said a lot of times that he likes stories like For All Seasons. I think that the kind of Superman movie that you're going to get after the journey that it took to get Cavill back, ideally if it incorporates that in the same way that No Way Home kind of had that nostalgia, it embraced the nostalgia as a part of the plot in a way that wasn't just like fan service. If you can get something like that with Superman, where it's a Superman, for lack of a better word, Superman Homecoming sort of treatment, I think that, and I don't mean like to rip off, like Man of Tomorrow, For All Seasons, that kind of the Superman we need right now. So I think that it could be like pop off really, really, really well. Because Superman doesn't even historically it does well at the box office, but there has yet to be a
not like
adjusted for inflation,
shattering.
78 was adjusted for inflation, 78 is good, but I don't. It can't be expected to be something that's going to be like the number one box office movie of all time. But I mean, you can expect a solid hit from something that embraces
it's like
that.
When this movie comes out, it better be Avatar 2.
Like no, no. I hope that they have realistic expectations for what this movie needs to be.
That's what I hope too. They actually know.
Despite all of the insanity and controversy with like the way Zaslav is handling things, I think if you look at their perspective on budgets, and like in a way you look at what happened to Batgirl as a really good example of like an encouraging thing about the way that they'll approach this, because what they said when they looked at that was that it was not built for the way they wanted to monetize it. So it was not built to be. It wasn't going to be a huge success on streaming in a way that's going to drive revenue, but also they couldn't drop it theatrically and make a huge amount of money. And like that's unfortunate that all of that happened with that movie. But if that's kind of their paradigm for looking at this, then they're going to make sure that they give a Superman movie that the budget, the production, and all of those things, they're not going to be reaching to try to make it something it's not. They're going to say, how is this best utilized on the screen, and deliver something that matches that. Whereas, I think in the past they've gone both ways, where they either go too small or too big, because they don't know what, the leadership they've never known what to do with Superman. Like Man of Steel is the first time in, since Superman 78 where they're like, oh, here's a vision for the character. So hopefully they can get back to having
it was amazing.
Like I said, I really hope Black Adam is successful, because I think that, no, I mean, listen, put your money where your mouth is, right? The Rock listened to quote unquote, listen to fans. He listened to what people are asking for. He's trying to deliver the best movie he can from an entertainment perspective. And hopefully he's rewarded for that. So it can be a sign hey, people actually do like this stuff and want to see like more of this DC interconnectivity. They like seeing Superman. They like seeing this kind of tone, right? I mean,
well,
that's why I mean, like, yeah.
I think, and I think at this point he's basically positioned the movie as like a referendum on the recent administration. Even though like Walter Hamada was originally saying, "Oh, I'll stick around until after Black Adam," as if it was trying to take credit for it. And here, Dwayne Johnson is like the whole hierarchy of power is about to change thing. I know a lot of people, for various reasons, were like tired of that. I was kind of sick of it, how often he was saying it. But the fact that at the end of the marketing campaign, he's like, by the way, when I say the hierarchy, I'm talking about the leadership of WB executives. It's like, whoa,
I'm all for that, man.
Yeah, well, see, we didn't know what that meant. We were just like, oh yeah, he's gonna take over for everybody, Yeah, F Superman, he's gone,
I am the face of DC now.
Yeah, that's all we thought.
I mean, also
the fact that at the end he's like, oh no, I'm talking about like Walter Hamada, Toby Emmerich. When I say the hierarchy is changing, I mean those guys are gone. I'm not saying
he's talking about like how like the ending is gonna show like, look at the hierarchy right now. Like Black Adam's the most powerful being on Earth, but who's the most powerful?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
That's what The Rock said.
That's what The Rock said.
Yeah.
And then Superman is the most powerful being in the universe. Like
which
that's the hierarchy. But that's what
it's marketing. So I don't care.
Yeah. But the semantics, whatever. But that's what he's meaning by hierarchy as well in that movie.
Oh, for sure.
You don't know what he means. You weren't in those meetings.
But the point is that this movie arriving the way he's positioned it, it changes the way we talk about these now. This is not just like the newest, movie in a string of what are they doing with this.
And that's
it's
what
a statement of
earlier.
here's what we're going to do into the future, and that's
right.
What people
and that is such the biggest thing that they needed forever. They need to create what I like to call forward momentum, because whether we like it or not, like when you make these superhero movies, people like to have confidence when they sit down and see this movie that 1, they're going to be entertained, have a good time. 2, that's worth their time and investment. And 3, they have something to look forward to when they invest their time into it. So when you create forward momentum, be like, hey, if you invest your time and money into Black Adam, not only going to get a great entertaining blockbuster, but you're going to be getting a fully fledged out DC universe with promise for more in the future. Right? People like that.
Hey, look, as a Superman fan, listen. If I know that there's a plan that these characters the other characters are going to be treated right, then yes, I can go to a DC movie like Black Adam and feel like, hey, I can sit back and enjoy this movie because they're not trying to replace what's important. They're not trying to act like Superman's not important anymore. They're not going to ignore Superman anymore going forward. It's not even that Henry Cavill's in the film. If the news had just come out that they're working on it, like that they actually announced this and that they're working on it, and he's not in Black Adam even, I feel good as a DC fan that they're listening to, not just listening to fans, because I don't think it's always a good idea to listen to fans, but just that they understand the characters that they possess, that they own, that they are going to do something with those characters, because you don't have Superman, again, sitting along the sidelines when he's Superman. Like that's
when
like,
they say that they're listening to fans, that doesn't mean like we read your fan fiction and we're going to adapt it.
Exactly, because there's some people who are going to,
Yeah, what it means is we hear that you're frustrated. And like that, and like that's one of the we're talking about this on the actually, I keep on feeling like you were there because Saggy put you up as her.
I know, yeah, it's funny, yeah. I'll just stand here really still.
Yeah, but there's a some of these interviews that The Rock has done. It was like acknowledging or calling out like this gaslighting that's been going on for years from the executives, and I think that like fans never react to stuff well, but like especially not when they're gaslit, and they're being gaslit from multiple directions where people were saying like, oh, people don't like there's fans campaigning for various different things, not just Snyder Cut, and then executives come out and be like, oh, people don't actually want that, or we're listening to fans and we're gonna do X, Y, and Z, all of which are not things that any of the many people yelling about what they want. And so all Rock had to say was, we hear that you're not happy, which is huge. That's something that like Warner Brothers would never
Well,
acknowledge.
no corporation likes to acknowledge that their fans
Exactly.
consumers aren't happy.
And normally you shouldn't, but when you've spent years just like gaslighting these people that are screaming like change, stop this, fix this, and then you're like, oh, we're glad everybody's happy with our stuff, and they're like, no, we're not. And so for him to just say like, I understand you don't feel like you're being listened to, and everybody's like, thank you, and he's like, so we're gonna do something about it, and they're like, thank you. That doesn't mean I'm gonna restore the Snyderverse. It doesn't mean I'm gonna adapt your fan fiction. It doesn't mean any of those things explicitly. It just means like we're not gonna continue kicking the can down the road and expect you to eat everything up simply because it has the DC label on it. And I think people, whether or not they are like The Rock or like Black Adam, they're like, you know what? I will support a franchise that is willing to say that and do that, because it means that it's not going to stay stuck in this rut just out of being stubborn and too proud to admit that nobody except for like a couple anonymous quotes have said, you know what, that Justice League movie in 2017, what words am I allowed to say on here? We dropped the ball. I'll be polite with my phrasing.
Say whatever you'd like to.
That's the nicest way to put it.
I mean, look, I got friends. I have one friend literally who still comes on the show, who literally still comes on the show, and he loves Justice League. He literally, and he.
Do we know who we're talking about?
Yeah, he's kind of crazy.
Exactly
sometimes.
who he's talking
He's kind of
about.
crazy sometimes.
No.
No, the dude has made it like very clearly known that he hates that DC doesn't need any help. DC's doing just fine the way that they are, and I love the guy. I really do.
Walter
and I mean
Hamada's
it.
staying.
Walter Hamada's staying. Nobody else is going. Emmerich was going to stay, and he's not one of these a-hole guys who's come after me or anything. He's just a nice guy that I like. I just disagree completely with almost every take that the guy has, but I love him. He's a nice guy. But I do want to. So you mentioned something here, and I do want to kind of touch base on this a little bit. But first of all, before this disappears, our good friend Anthony Grigsby Down Under says hello to the panel. He's got a 14-month full Poindexter, by the way. Full Poindexter. That's our top tier, guys. This guy is awesome, and I got like shirts to send him. Member for 14 months. Holy crap. And I believe he's a patron as well. Hello to the panel, and Enosh, I really hope that this news with Henry and Man of Steel getting a sequel, that it would unite the fandom. Here is hoping. Love to you all. Hashtag I believe in Superman. You know what? I hope at some point everybody does too, Anthony. But let's talk about this. So yes, the Hollywood Reporter piece talked about the Flash 2 script.
It's done.
Geekosity scoop # confirmed. No joke, they actually did report on this a while ago.
So the Flash script 2 is done.
Cool. But Aquaman writer.
So here's my question, right? And we can kind of focus on this a little bit, because you brought up just a second ago the fact that there's people who are just if you support this movie, you're not in with down with what's going on, or down with these people or that people or whatever, and you can't go see this movie, or you can go see this movie. I've been told all kinds of ridiculous stuff of who I like, who I don't like, who But and this brings up this point right here. Drago with his $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Says, I'm sick of people saying that Ray Fisher has told us to boycott these movies. From what I remember, he's never said that. He got up at a Comic-Con and he said for him personally, and he even said this exact same thing here. Him and Wayne T. Carr mentioned it, that for them, with what happened, he didn't feel, because at one time Ray had said that he was going to watch The Flash, and because he, and his exact words were, he had to remind himself that not everybody who's working on that film is Walter Hamada, that he has friends who are in those films. Ben is in that film, Ezra's in that film, other people are in that film.
Gal, Jason.
Well, now there's who knows who's going to be in that film. But Ray never told everybody to boycott these films. I've never seen that either. What I have seen is a bunch of fans run with that idea that because he said he personally was not going to see it, even though Wayne said the exact opposite here, Ray said the exact opposite here. People try to tell me that I betrayed Ray Fisher.
They didn't come to that opinion because of what Ray said either. That was an opinion they had prior to Ray saying it, and then they took his words and applied it to a pre-existing opinion. Exactly. So not to take away the significance of what he said, but it's not like if he hadn't said that they were going to continue. They weren't about to be like, oh, never mind. Let's
right.
But I think
well, listen, they don't listen to Zack Snyder, man. Yeah. Like they claim to like worship at the altar of Zack Snyder apparently, but like Zack can say something, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, he doesn't really mean that. He's talking in code.
What?
he's really telling us that he hates something when he says he likes it. When he puts out there, go see Black Adam, or I'm happy to see Black Adam.
Well, but this has always been a problem. But he'll scroll through Vero and like a bunch of stuff, and someone's like, "Oh, I said that Debbie Snyder is going to be the new head of DC, and he liked it. Therefore, it's confirmed."
What does it mean?
And then, no, that's not what that means. But then he'll go and like a post about Black Adam, and they're like, "Hey, you just like stuff on a whim. He doesn't even know what he's just trying to get traffic on Vero, or I don't know. I assume it's what
he's seeing Black Adam, obviously.
But it's funny. You pick and choose when the like matters and when the like doesn't matter, and it's all disingenuous.
Larry here with the $4.99 super chat says, "I'm definitely hoping they bring back Ray Fisher and Ray Porter eventually."
So here's the question. Here's the question though. Before we get too much into other things, because I wanted to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So now that they're bringing back Henry Cavill, and Gal Gadot is still Wonder Woman as of this moment, they almost have the Trinity completed. What are they going to do about Batman in the DCU? Are they going to bring back Ben Affleck, or are they going to recast? Like, what are they going to do with that? I feel like once they have the Trinity, they understand, like they got that intact. Then I think the DCU will be in
I think right now Batman's still the biggest question mark. To be honest,
I think honestly what's going to happen is, I think once the Flash comes out, that's when the rubber meets the road. That's when we'll really have a more concrete idea of what's going to happen within the next 3 to 5 years, I'd say.
Yeah. Ben Affleck signed up initially to do Batman v Superman and then have cameos and stuff, but then he was going to die in Justice League 2 or 3, depending on, they went back and forth between whether or not they were going to do 3 movies or 2 movies. But he signed up for he was pitched on, hey, here's your Batman arc. He's jaded and disillusioned in BVS, that he gets redeemed by Superman's death, and then he assembles the team in Justice League, and then he sacrifices himself to Darkseid to save Lois, and then like that's your arc. And so he's like, cool, I'll do that. So he never signed up to be like a Tony Stark, I'm going to be in 40 movies. Sort of thing. And so even if he's back, I have a hard time believing that that's like a back. He'll do a couple. I think he'll do cameos, like we already know he's gonna pop up in like Aquaman and have a small part in the Flash. And maybe he'll do a solo or something like that. But I don't see him increasing his commitment much from.
I think he's going to prefer being a supporting actor, to be honest. I think that's where he's going to be fitting. It's like, hey,
I saw a report this week that said at the end of the Flash, we'll have both Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, I've heard that they're going to both coexist in the same universe.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Odd. That'd be very
that's an odd thing. I felt.
Yeah, but comics have done weirder things with Batman, though.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like a huge fan of it, but like.
At least neither one's gone, right? I mean, you can do more stories with them.
Well, and I don't know that this is necessarily what's going to happen, but like one of the rumors, I'll say, or based on test screenings or other rumors that people have had for the Flash.
Scoop! It's a scoop from Stephen Colbert. You heard it right here.
Well, no, I don't want to say it. No, but
I'm just teasing.
Or it's been hypothesized, whatever, however we want to couch it, that he is like lost in time or whatever at the end of the Flash. And I doubt they're going to do this, but like as
I
like the
would love
Batman fan
that.
in me sees that, and I'm like, whoa, do the Return of Bruce Wayne. Give me like an HBO Max miniseries,
Yeah.
where like each episode is set in a different era of time of him, and like have him like stick him in the history lesson in Justice League, like in warrior garb and stuff like that. But specifically, what you can do if he is lost in time, you can do the. I know that like the canon regarding like what happened to Dick Grayson is in flux and stuff, depending on what they do. But you give me Battle for the Cowl, give me Dick Grayson Batman. Like you can do all this stuff with like the Bat family that keeps Batman as a not just a primary figure. Like Battle for the Cowl, for example, you've got multiple people playing Batman. And the whole thing is about the legacy of Batman, and so you can even it examines Batman's identity in the same way like an actual Batman movie would, and then you don't even need Bruce Wayne or Affleck there. You can still have Affleck be the Batman for that, but it's not about him. It's about the Bat family trying to figure out what to do in his absence, and then through that process, you establish there's another you establish another Batman. You bring in I don't know a Damian Wayne or a or have someone, I don't know, however you want to do it.
Jason.
You bring someone in to play Batman, or maybe you just have a rotating stable and you can keep the Batman iconography going, or
So
shift into a Batman Beyond and have Affleck show up, break his back and put him in a wheelchair, and then have him just be the guy at the computer or something in a Batman Beyond, like shift up the timeline so that Batman Beyond is I don't know, like there's all sorts of different, like it's going to be different than the comics, but there's all sorts of really cool things you can
There's
do
ways
to keep
about it.
Well, they gotta establish a Bat family at some point. So
it'd be nice if they did.
Once you have a Bat family, you can do a ton of stuff with Batman related stuff where Affleck shows up for like a couple days on set, and then
it's not as much work.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, just a question about the specific super chat. Like, so I think the Ray Fisher thing is obviously like one of the biggest questions now that we know for sure Hamada is leaving this week. Like, obviously we can't predict the future, but I just want to ask just for clarification, because sometimes it's like, is Jeff Johns still going to be like one of the biggest hurdles to getting Ray Fisher back at this point, or no?
if he's still involved in projects, maybe.
No, I'm just asking because like I know he's not involved with the films anymore, but he still works. He still produces like TV and stuff and works in that division. Like, is that going to be a hurdle to getting Ray Fisher back or no?
Well, he hasn't made it a condition.
Yeah, if he's
he hasn't said like I won't be here as long as he's at the company. So I think if he gets like a leadership position or something, that might change. Or he'll never be on a movie where Johns is like a producer, which is a hard separation to make just because Johns is he's got his name on so many books. It's hard to make something that he doesn't have creative influence over. But I think Hamada was the real big one for him. And even though he's his name is on Black Adam or the Flash, Hamada's going to be still listed as a producer on that, even though he's gone. I think based on what The Rock is saying and kind of the general way this is going, those movies are no longer if those movies succeed, it's no longer a W for Hamada. It's more of an indictment of him kind of at this point. So that's, I don't know. I think in my mind, all the roadblocks are gone. Like between him and WB, his issue. Like notice all his recent tweets, he'll say Hamada still owes an apology, but he's not going after WB anymore. I think WB still needs to cross that bridge, but I think that's such an easy win for them to just say, hey, past administration screwed up. We're sorry. We'd love you have you as Cyborg, and that's a big win for Hollywood, I think, to kind of make that gesture. And it cost WB nothing because none of the people that caused the problem are even there anymore. All they have to do is say the people who were not us made a big mistake, and
that is if WB and Zaslav is interested in seeing more from him as Cyborg, if they see potential.
But I mean, even the most ardent detractors of Justice League were like, oh yeah, Ray Fisher was pretty great in that.
I mean, even Andy Machete wanted Ray Fisher back in the Flash movie.
Ezra Miller
wants him back
too. Ezra Miller wanted him back.
Like that. And I think he deserved it.
Larry here says, have Ray Fisher show and be like, I'm from Earth.
There you go.
There's no one on this planet that can stop me. Excuse me, sir.
I'm from Earth. I could beat you. I control all the nukes. Rational Skeptic here with a $2 super chat says Coates film is still in development. Says Hollywood Reporter. Yeah,
for now. I
No,
mean,
no,
JJ's still floating around there a little bit. So
JJ stole money from Warner
Still don't
Brothers.
care. Yeah, he like.
It's as a solar system. Okay, the asteroid belt is J.J. Abrams, while all the other planets are actually set.
actually doing stuff. Yeah.
Abrams is the Jay Cutler of this scenario.
Occasionally, one of those asteroids may
become a
cross
moon.
over. Yeah.
Maybe become a moon, or maybe become a full-on flight. We might find out that an asteroid is not really an asteroid, but it's actually a moon or a planet,
or a space
star.
station.
So look,
Or-
I think
They also confirmed the Green Lantern show still happening.
Well, that was in the
today, too.
separate article, but yeah.
We need
Separate article, yeah.
movies, people. We need
Well, it's not
movies.
just the Man of Steel
But,
stuff.
I mean-
too. It's exciting. I mean, it's also the James Gunn
Yeah, it's
stuff.
supposed
and
to
Matt
lead
Reeves
into
stuff.
a movie.
real quick,
well.
because I know Steven's got to go. Steven, I'd like to get your take real quick as you're getting ready to leave on the Ezra Miller dealings today. And I know that's not a quick thing, but I mean, I'd like to,
Yeah. I think, well, the thing it's the big thing all along is it's been, it's people have a hard time following a bouncing ball. And so with this story, the big thing has always been keeping track of like what is Ezra been accused of and what is the status of that currently.
Yes.
And I think the big thing to note prior to this particular story is that I'm pretty sure just about every single other claim or charge against him has been disproven, withdrawn, or is no longer in the mix. So there's a lot of noise when all that stuff came up, but the stuff in Hawaii is all done and over with. That's nothing came of that. There's no convictions. There's no nothing. That's all done. The grooming allegations was all revolving this conservatorship with Tokata Iron Eyes with the tribal court. The parents were trying to get the conservatorship. That has been withdrawn. It's official per, I think it was a Variety or whatever specified that. So that has been withdrawn, and even some of the articles that had been put up by the parents have been rescinded too. So like that claim is no longer on the board.
Yep.
And so really the only thing left is this burglary charge that they're pleading not guilty to. So I think that's the first thing to point out that people are missing, because that's not even the one people care about. People care about all this other noise that was made that nothing came of, and this is just kind of the culmination of all of that. So all that noise boils down to a burglary charge of Ezra going into a friend's house and taking, according to the police report, a few bottles of alcohol. The statute in Vermont claims, in order to prove the burglary that he's charged with, felony burglary, I think it requires you to prove that you knowingly and with intent took something from someone that you weren't supposed to. And so they need to be able to prove that he knew that he wasn't supposed to be there and taking what he did, and that he was doing it intentionally. And so there's a couple different layers to that. First is that if he can produce or has any kind of documentation or whatever of the friend saying, "Oh, stop by any time, pick up whatever," because the inference was, "Oh, well, it's like a neighbor where you're like, oh, take my weed whacker whenever you need it," or whatever. And so if there's a text saying like "mi casa, su casa," that may be admissible to say, okay, well, you were not knowingly trespassing, unless there is a counter text saying, "Offer is rescinded. You can never enter my abode."
Right.
And then the other is is intent. And so, was Ezra drunk at the time? Was there, was like what factors were there that can diminish whether or not it was with intent?
Right.
And that's just like from a stark legal perspective. I don't know if there's any what the chances of a plea or whatever. But
well, there's no way Ezra goes to jail for 26 years, though, right?
No, there's no way. But I think that all the noise surrounding Ezra leading up to this is a pretty limp kind of conclusion to the case against them, regardless of how this turns out. If at the end of the day, the most Ezra is proven guilty of is, per the police report, stealing a couple bottles of alcohol from a friend's house, that's not really that.
Yeah, 26
bad.
years in prison.
Well, it feels like something that's going to get settled out of court, to be honest to me.
Yeah, exactly. And so I highly doubt, they're pleading not guilty. I would doubt it gets all the way to conviction, whether or not there's some sort of a plea deal or or whether or not, like I said, simply a text saying, suggesting that they had a relationship where Ezra was permitted to come by and get that kind of stuff. Did Ezra have a key, for example?
Right.
Somebody said that maybe Ezra's mom owns the property. I have no idea if that's true or not, but like if there's all sorts of factors like that totally change the context of the claim.
Yeah. With regards to the condition of Ezra's release, Ezra can't contact the victims in any capacity. Basically until the next hearing. So you can't.
Which the next hearing is January 13th.
Yeah, Ezra cannot contact them either in person, in writing, by telephone, by email, or through a third party, regardless of whether in jail or released. And that'll be no contact till January. There might be something different then, but that's really the most recent.
And he can't go to he can't go to that property. He can't. No contact with the victims at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
at this point, it's a restraining order until court date.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting any sort of a serious conviction in that case. And like I said, even if it turns out that like, oh, Ezra broke a window and whatever, and stole the alcohol, and that's unfortunate. That's a sad situation to be in. But like, considering the furor over all these other claims, if that's all that comes of it, then like I don't know how anybody can hang their hat on that as proof of all the things that
my thing, Steven, and you and I have followed this pretty closely. I absolutely agree with you. And I think the sad thing about this is all the noise that's been made over and over again about all the accusations and things that people have said, and then all of a sudden the lack of follow-up, the lack of truth telling, and the lack of just noise in general when it came to things being dropped or cases being won, or things, all those things, and like stuff being like totally blown out of proportion. I mean, like I've said before, how many jokes did we see about him running from the police when he was never, they were never running from the police, for example. It's just it's sad. It really is sad. And I hope that Ezra, I hope that the truth comes out in all this, but I agree with you. I don't think that something like this sticks, and I think that this is, this is something that's got to play out. And somebody even I think, was it Arwix here in the chat, asked something about like recasting Ezra. Look, if somebody goes to jail, obviously, they're not going to be in the film. But the reality is, at this point, Ezra just did some reshoots apparently for the Flash movie. They made a point to talk about how they've got a Flash 2 script already written.
Yeah, it was done.
I don't see that, barring some kind of crazy conviction, Ezra being recast.
Tony Yayo recorded for I think the Green Lantern mixtape from prison, so anything's possible.
Oh shit! Yeah.
just do what Zach did with the nightmare scene. Have
Zoom.
Ezra go on a Zoom and record it there,
or just do bring in Henry Ellen and put him on the other side of the glass, and then just flip the.
Yeah, there you go. and be like, send clothes to Ezra, and it's like
filmed on location.
Filmed literally.
Flash.
I don't see that happen.
I mean, like, I'm waiting to see what happens with the court hearings. I'm waiting to see what stuff is true and what stuff is not, and what he has to say about it. But I'm going to be very honest with you. I'll be shocked if they keep him on after this Flash movie comes out, because regardless of what he did, regardless if he's innocent or not, his image is already tainted. Like, that's
right. But remember, like we were saying earlier about how all this stuff is always in flux, and look at how drastically the situation has changed just in the past few months. It was conspicuously like the info was on a drip every week, every couple weeks. There was Ezra Miller. It turns out is raising Beelzebub and like
leading a cult this week.
And,
Ezra Miller has given birth to the Antichrist,
and so all of a sudden that shuts
ushering
off,
in 1,000
now
years
this
of
is like the
darkness.
last thing, and then so you still got. You've got some time for people to be separated from the info. People forget about this stuff. I mean, you look at what some people have done, and in Hollywood, and then the way people are so related to Josh Brolin is a huge example. The fact that like what Josh Brolin has done wasn't just all over the Avengers movies is an example of how willing people are to forget this stuff once you're separated from it. And so then there's the separation time for people to kind of cool their jets, but then also you're gonna get stuff about there's gonna be some kind of tell-all eventually, and that's probably gonna be timed closer to the movie. You're gonna get profiles about Ezra, about their experience. Like at this point, Ezra's mental health is a part of the story, so you're not gonna get to the Flash movie being released without Ezra doing an interview and talking about their mental state and talking about the truth of the accusations. And so there's going to be a lot of who's to say if everyone's going to buy it, but everybody's perspective on this, I believe, is going to shift due to more info coming to light that has not been published by that time. And will it be enough or not? I don't know, but I don't think we can say that the current perspective of the situation is what it will be when the Flash hits.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's
I'm
rough.
not trying to condemn Ezra. I'm really not. Like,
Yeah, no,
I'm trying to
I
give it the
understand.
benefit of doubt, but it's just like, of all this stuff surrounding him, like, regardless if he's innocent or not, like, this is not the type of publicity I would want when you're trying to build this franchise, and he's supposed to be one of the central figures of that. It's just too much
if
stuff,
you make it through it and you have the receipts necessary to kind of debunk any of this stuff, it can also be flipped into a resurrection kind of story, right? Of look at what Ezra survived. Look at how they the stories of how do you get if they can prove that any of the accusations were fake or whatever. There's a number of different ways to spin it, but this is the kind of thing where if they can get free, if they can get out of this unscathed, then that can then be flipped into it's not just like you got by the skin of your teeth, but then it can be turned into like, oh wow, this is actually a survivor story. This is a victory. You can do a victory lap of innocence, and really use that as a PR tool. So I don't know exactly how they'll do that yet. I just know that I would assume that like for example, look, of all the information that we know, how much of that has been crafted from a PR lens in favor of Ezra? Like there has been no positive PR push for Ezra yet, and this is where we stand. So where do we stand after that PR push happens in favor of Ezra? All of those bullets are still in the chamber. None of those have been fired yet. What are they, and how much are they? I don't know. We can't. But there is stuff that has not been launched in a defense of Ezra, and so that I think will really shift the way people talk about it. And will it be enough? That's a huge question. But we'll find out.
Look at the Will Smith situation. Everybody forgot about that. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody cares about that anymore. No, the thing about it is, I've been saying this from day one. I'm a sports fan, and I'll give it to you from a sports perspective. Nobody cares as long as you're winning. Okay? If the Flash movie comes out and it's really, really good, it's not going to matter because he's back. Allegations or no, it doesn't matter. He's coming back. That's it. Okay? But no, if it fails, then obviously, it's like getting rid of a bum coach because we're tired of losing every year.
Right, yeah.
Or something like that. You can equate it. I always equate it to sports because that's what I understand. And like I said, if you get used to losing, exactly, William, Deshaun Watson, look at him. Okay.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Whoa!
What was it 120 counts or
it was
something like that?
It was 26, and he just got hit with another one the other day.
Jesus H Christ! Still on the Browns, by the way.
And has I think the most guaranteed money for any quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Still getting paid, by the way.
Yeah. And matter of fact, here's a kicker, and here's why I think Deshaun Watson. Part of me thinks that he did it. He really did do these things, was the fact that during the contract negotiations with the Cleveland Browns, he renegotiated his contract to only be $1 million because in the event of a year suspension or however long suspension, they garnish your wages. And so he wanted to get it down basically to the contractual minimum because he knew he was going to get suspended.
Yeah.
That's a bad look. Regardless of whether or not he did it, that is a bad look. He settled a bunch of them out of court. There is still one woman who is still taking him to court and is going to play the entire thing out civilly. So, and I say civilly, I mean in civil court, by the way. So yeah, that's a whole thing. If you guys want to go down that rabbit hole some other time away from here, feel free. It's dark. It's grim.
I'm just done talking about the Ezra situation. I really am. I just want them to just get the court stuff over with, get the Flash movie out already, so we can stop talking about this. Like, really.
No, I agree.
Peter Rabbit's Defender here with an 18-month super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says if Ezra Miller's The Flash will get 2 more sequels, WBD needs to control him like in every moves. I'm glad for Man of Steel 2. Again, I will just say I think this is us talking about things that are assumed, not of actual things that are going on. Anthony here. Anthony's on the panel, but gave a 14-month super chat. Says Enosh is going to see Snake Eyes 2. No, I'm not. I can guarantee
Yes,
you
you
that.
are.
If there's one
Yes,
thing,
you
if
are.
there's one thing that I can
You call it a
guarantee you, I may not
masterpiece.
know about Ezra Miller. I may not know about anything going forward, but I do know this: fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I will not be going to a Snake Eyes 2.
I don't think I'll see
at
it.
least not a continuation of that.
They need
Hold on a
Funniest
second,
thing
Brian,
was-
because I got something for you. Steven, I know you got to get going. Thank you, buddy, for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate you,
having me.
bro.
Yeah, it's nice talking to you.
Everybody, go follow him. Tell everybody where you're at there, my friend.
Yeah, you can find me on social media at SM Colbert. You can find my writing at screenrant.com. And you can listen to my podcast with Andrew Dice. We are breaking down Batman v Superman 1 minute at a time at BVS by the Minute on Twitter or just SnyderMinute.com. And we're also working on some stuff for the Rings of Power for anyone who's enjoying that. We're gonna
Woke.
do some be doing a bunch of podcasting on that in the near future. So we loved it. So for anyone else that we're gonna do some celebration of that.
What minute are you at on BVS right
We
now?
just hit 2 hours.
Wow.
So 120.
What? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're doing Ultimate Edition?
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna do.
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
what
do,
much
we're gonna do
better
it 1 minute.
Is
at a
there
time. We're
another
not gonna
version?
do- Yep. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. All right, wait. Thanks.
See you, Steven.
Thanks,
See you,
Steven.
Steven.
When I thought about Snake Eyes, I thought about the fact, and by the way, thank you for bringing up our conversation in your review, Enosh. That was very funny. About how I had mentioned after I gave my review on the lounge, I spent about maybe 10 minutes. You want to say? I asked Enosh. I said, "Okay, you read the comic books growing up. You watched the cartoons. Explain to me the origin of these characters." And he gave me about a 5-minute spiel of absolutely everything. And I said to him at the end, "That is not the movie I watched."
Right. No, not even close. Not even close. Not even close. And no, there are no plans yet for Snake Eyes 2, and good for it.
They need to.
Hold on. I just got a text message from my insider saying Snake Eyes 2 is a go.
Watch it.
Paramount.
Hey, look at that.
Paramount
You
needs.
gotta face
Hold on a second. That's stun, Caden.
Wow.
No.
It's blinking red. You know what that means, buddy. Right there. It's blinking red. See?
You better check yourself.
I do
before you
that.
wreck yourself.
It's blinking. It's blinking red. That means it's gonna blow up because I'm gonna hand it to you. That it's blue. That's your stun there, buddy. But when I do that,
Yeah, Paramount needs to stop making.
You better watch
Snake Eyes 2
your.
is a go.
If anybody catches this, we can blink them to death.
Paramount needs to stop making GI Joe movies because apparently they don't know anything about the source material.
by the way, these are in stores right now. I put off getting one. I was gonna buy one secondhand, and I'm so glad that I didn't because
Where you bought that
less than
from?
$20. Less
Enosh
than $20.
is
Bought it
denying
at Walmart.
Snake Eyes 2.
Got it at Walmart.
That's
It's got
cool.
it's got your stun. It's got your your regular, and then it's got when you're just gonna blow the thing up.
I gotta get me one of those.
That's how you end the show right there.
There you go. All right.
It actually blows
Sounds
up.
like it'll explode.
Subscribe to Point Extra Lounge.
Okay, see you guys next time. Bye. Good night, guys.
Okay, I got one more thing to show you, Brian.
Oh,
One more thing.
okay.
One more thing.
Sorry.
Wait, hold on a second.
My
I gotta
bad.
turn this off. Okay. So, I have this back here, my friend.
Oh, hello.
This is also in stores right now.
What?
I'm just gonna tell you, they got a lot of Star Trek. They got Wrath of Khan figures right now with Kirk, Spock, and Khan. But dude, hold on a second. I gotta turn the switch on. Hold on a second. Where's the switch?
Wow, that's very nice.
Look at that right there. Nice and
Wow.
bright.
That would
LED.
be the C's.
No, this is 1701.
That's the old
buddy.
school. That's the yeah.
This is old school.
Original series.
Original
action.
series here. Here we go.
Oh man, I have to get
awesome.
one now, and it has to go right here. Oh no, it's going
Red
down.
alert!
Oh man! All right, I'm
go.
looking that up right now.
Captain of the bitch.
Oh, here we go.
That's crazy.
Battle stations. Photon torpedoes, fire. Prepare for warp maneuvers. Security alert to all decks. Arm photon torpedoes.
Damn, man, it's got some sound effects in it.
It's lit on the top, man. You
That's
can
better
just-
than the Star
Oh, that's
Wars
cool.
And it comes with a stand and $39.
Look at them lens
That's
flares.
not bad.
Not
Not bad at all when
The
you consider.
stand.
We
It
consider
even
the
comes with
stand-
built-in lens flares to blind you.
And
right.
also,
just like
I thought
in,
this was original series, not Abrams.
But I also like the stand is the Star Trek logo.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I
Now
thought you'd like
Brian's
that,
going to
Brian.
want to rob you.
Well, I had to pull.
Brian
I had
and
to pull it out for
William,
Brian.
Rob.
I don't
And
know.
and
It's
Brian, you like Jaws, right?
it's all right. It's all right.
Check this out.
Oh,
Whoa.
that
Is
is
it like
cool.
statue?
It's called a 3D movie poster.
That's cool.
Wow.
I'm not lying. I still think of like Jaws 5 Fire Island when I see that.
But look at that. Now there's one thing. Now see on the top, it's got the woman swimming. But this is not movie accurate because she's wearing a bathing suit.
True.
Oh, they couldn't commit.
But I mean, look how cool that is. I mean, like,
It's
dude,
woke, guys.
yeah, Tiffany.
Damn
It's
it,
even got
Jane,
the,
you
it's
beat
even
me
got the
to it.
bubbles coming from the mouth and stuff. And so, yes, it's,
Shark
Solid
Solid
acrylic. That's
yes.
pretty cool.
We need
Nice.
more 3D posters.
I've been waiting for
Oh,
that
dude, that's
for.
that's
I've
killer.
been waiting
That's
for that
killer.
for a while now. Yeah. So I
imagine
think
a Hulk like that?
okay. So Brian, you got to get going. I love you, buddy.
Yeah, I gotta get some sleep,
See you,
guys. See
Brian.
you
Thank
next
you for
time.
being here, my friend. Yeah, I got to get
Later.
some
Have a
sleep
good
here in
night.
just a minute too. So,
Yeah, we
I
got to talk James
think.
Gunn and Matt Reeves now.
Okay, so you know what? So that wasn't even on the agenda tonight because it was already
Oh, okay.
because it was already 5 things between The Rock, Walter Hamada, the state of DC, which I guess you could say was all that stuff too. But
James
Man of Steel
Gunn.
2, Ezra Miller, please go. Look, James Gunn is going to be apparently he
Secret
pitched-
mystery movie.
secret mystery movie. James Gunn supposedly pitched that we
No
don't
clue
have.
what it is.
We have no clue what it is.
Plastic
and
Man.
Gunn movie.
It's
James
Plastic
Gunn
Man.
movie at Warner's, and it's a mystery.
It's a mystery. We don't know
Enoch
what it
says
is.
Booster Gold.
Scooby
Booster
Doo
Gold,
in the
Enoch.
DCEU.
Plastic Man.
It's a movie about the mole.
Oh man.
The mole right there. It's right there. See. Ooh,
Mole,
look
mole,
at-
mole, mole.
Look at
mole.
the mole. Look at deep it in its eyes.
Hot.
All right, then. Let's get-
It looks
Oh,
like an
dear.
eye.
It
No,
does
it
look
makes
like
it
an
look
eye.
like a dolphin, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
like
A
dewback.
green
It looks
dolphin.
like it looks like, have you ever seen the automaton?
Oh, you've never
eye?
seen a green dolphin before? What's wrong
No.
with you, man? Are
No.
you racist against green dolphins now all of a sudden?
Green dolphins don't exist.
You don't
Wow.
know.
Pink dolphins
Have you seen
exist.
every dolphin in the world?
Yeah, no.
Yes. Yes.
No,
that
you
is-
have not.
Yes.
No.
I know
Have you-
for a fact there is no green dolphin.
DL, you know nothing.
There's
I know they are
you're-
caught-
That's the
they're-
magical unicorn of dolphins.
Kiss the
They're
mole.
caught,
Kiss
they're
it.
caught in the fishnets that catch my tuna.
What?
What?
No, dolphins.
Pause.
By the cruelty-free.
You're
unicorns.
gross.
I will
Save it
see a
all.
magical unicorn before I see a green.
But no,
one.
I mean, listen, it is
I've
good.
been done seeing about anything without
I
seeing
see
an
an
elephant
elephant
fly.
Yes.
You know, look.
It's good news to see that James Gunn isn't leaving because people were saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's gone. He's leaving."
yeah.
No, he's
No, a lot
not.
of
He's
people
He's
making
not
movies and
leaving,
TV
bro.
shows.
He's not
And
leaving.
I mean, we talked about J.J. Abrams. I don't think that movie's happening. I don't believe that movie's happening. We also heard about Matt Reeves.
Yeah,
has got multiple spin-offs planned.
Yeah, Batman universe.
Yeah, supposedly now multiple spin-offs.
Clayface, Professor Pig, and
Scarecrow,
and Scarecrow.
Yes,
Penguin,
yes.
And Mr.
Arkham,
Freeze.
and Batman 2. A lot of stuff going on for Matt Reeves. I thought Warner Bros. Was
Coming
hold his
soon,
hand.
Integrity.
I thought Warner Bros. Was going to hold his
Oh,
hand
dear.
when he was there.
Right, I think they're gonna scrap all this stuff. That's what
Yeah,
Super
I
told
thought it
me.
was scrapped and in jeopardy. I thought, Zaslav had no trust in Reeves, even though he just signed a big deal like 2 months ago, and then now like more projects in development. What? Oh my god!
Well, the other interesting thing is that they're looking to develop like spin-off movies now too.
Yes, not
So
just
that's the other
series,
interesting
movies.
Scoopers suck. Headline. Read all about it. Scoopers lie.
Yeah, basically.
No, I just
And
just
RJ
can't help but
smells.
think.
Confirmed by
I cannot
Scott
help
when he
but
saw him
think,
in that movie place.
Why are you so angry, strong man? That's what the voice sounds like to me.
No, if I was strong bad, I'd be talking more like this, down in my voice a little bit. I'm coming up here like this.
We need a conversation between this person and Skeletor. And Skeletor.
You're
That
full
would
of
be-
crap.
We need a Skeletor and Evil Kermit show.
Oh yes. Oh yes, I like that. Oh yes, that'd be very nice. I would watch that show.
Yes.
It would be a good show to watch.
Yes.
Yes.
For me to poop on, but hey, it'd be a good show. Yes. Scoopers can scoop it up. Kiss them all. Kiss them all.
Basically, yes, sorry. Water, what?
Who clicked on that?
Not me.
I didn't do that.
Caden?
It wasn't me, I swear.
Come close. Come close.
I'm close. I'm very close.
Kiss them all. Kiss it.
Kiss it all.
Why?
Give it a good
You did this to yourself, RJ.
Kiss them all.
Now he's eating the camera. Okay.
I hope Aslav also talk about the future of Harry Potter too. Some in the
Yes.
future.
What's up with the Wizarding World? We need. Can we have some news about that, please?
What project?
Just stuff
Harry
for the
Potter.
Wizarding World in general.
Oh
Wizarding
yeah,
Worlds and stuff
I need
like that,
yeah, that too. Like
Okay.
DC.
And
and the
bring
Wizarding
back
World.
I have
the
not
cast.
talked. I have not talked about this yet. I really liked She-Hulk.
Oh.
Her as an actor, she kind of got on my nerves sometimes. If I'm being quite honest with you, and there were sometimes like, look, it was over the top, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be over the top. You know what? The last episode was really great. I loved the whole Kevin thing, and can I just say that I absolutely loved the retro intro from the Incredible Hulk
Incredible
TV
Hulk.
show. And is it just me, or did anybody else think that the She-Hulk in that looked like Lou Ferrigno in a wig?
Yes.
Oh, they
Yeah,
confirmed
that
it was
the
a
point.
dude. It was a dude.
It was a
It was a dude.
It
Okay.
was a dude. Yeah.
I was wondering though if it was Lou Ferrigno in a wig, because that would have been meta and hilarious.
I wish to.
Well, Meta streamed earlier, so.
Oh my god.
No, it has moments. The one thing that I'm sorry, I cannot. I'm not going to hate on it. There are these little bright shining moments. There's room for everything, but Andor is just a bust for me.
You didn't like episode 6? Hold on, you didn't like episode 6?
No, y'all
I haven't
overhyped
seen
that
episode
too
6
much.
yet.
Y'all overhyped it.
I have not seen episode 6,
Ah,
and,
no,
I, and I know you're, I know,
Spoilers
I know
again.
you're with me on this. And you know what? I'm going to give you the floor actually, because you know maybe
Yeah,
they'll
thank
listen to you.
Okay, yeah. So if someone has seen episode 6, I've seen all the episodes up to this point.
There
I
you go,
catched this up a
yes.
couple days ago. You overhyped episode 6 a little too much. Everyone's saying, "Oh my god, it's so great! Oh my god, it's exciting!"
6 is good, 5 is better.
I mean, there's some nice set piece. Yeah, it was a nice set piece. The last 30. Wait, no, I'm sorry. How long was the episode? Like 40 minutes. In the last
It's about 45, 50 minutes.
45, 50 minutes. The last 20-ish minutes, I'm like, okay, it's kind of exciting, but here's the problem. Here's the problem, man. None of these characters are interesting. None of them.
Thank you. That's the reason why I'm watching.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't
it's
care
like,
about the character.
Look, I love looking at Mon Mothma, but it's not enough to hold me through like the entire series.
and it's that chick from Morbius. That's great, but then nothing really memorable for her.
In the
either.
last 2 minutes of every episode, you and I kind of like shared a tweet about this today or whatever, or a comment about this on, I think, of Facebook. But like in the last 2 minutes of scenes of each episode, something happens, it gets interesting, and then the show ends.
Yeah.
And then the next one starts, and it's 45 minutes of exposition.
Literally, each episode like has the Rogue One syndrome. Like nothing happens in the first 3/4 of the movie, and then a big set piece happens. Well, it's not really that big of a set pieces that happen in this show, but it's like it's the same type of shit where it's like there's nothing but exposition and slow pacing and I just don't. It's not interesting to watch. It's not. And then Andor, like they try to give him development, they try to give him a backstory, but like watching him as a character, he's just not interesting to watch.
No,
He's
I didn't like him in
not.
Rogue One. I don't think that he's that much of a character.
Thank you.
He's not really like they're pushing him for no reason. There's nothing really that compelling about his character.
Yeah,
I mean, something slightly fascinating when he was younger and he was part of there seemed to be a tribe or something like that. There's something slightly interesting about it, but not enough to be like, oh, I think he's charismatic or I think he's compelling or like nothing. And then it's like, I know people like get their high off of, oh, this feels more gritty and like a war film, and you see the war tactics and the politics, and it's like I really tried to pay attention to what was going on plot-wise, everything going on with the politics, with the Empire and the rebels, stuff like that. I really tried to pay attention, but it's either they're just explaining too much, or it just.
But the guy who's writing it and producing it, like he has admitted he's not a Star Wars fan.
Tony Gilroy.
He's admitted that and then he doubled down about it. I was talking with Scotty earlier about this because he was asking me what I thought about it. And I was telling him, and he's like, well, you know, he admitted he's not a Star Wars fan. And I get what you're saying, Diao. There's a lot of these people who are out here going, oh, but this is the Star Wars I want. I want the nitty gritty, the
Star Wars
stuff
for
like that.
adults.
Listen. Here's the thing. Star Wars to me, and this doesn't mean Star Wars to everybody has to be the same way, but Star Wars to me, it's not that it has to be just lightsabers and force stuff or whatever, but it is not a science fiction show or a movie. Star Wars is science fantasy. And when you take the fantasy out of it and you just try to make it a war thing, or you try to make it your, you know, this nitty-gritty thing, it is not Dune. Stop trying to make it Dune.
That's what it felt like.
It was inspired by Dune a little bit, but it is not Dune. It is not Star Trek. Those are sci-fi. That's science fiction. It's different. Okay? The whole point of Star Wars is, yes, you have things like the Empire and the Rebellion, and you have the wars going on that people are fighting, but then you also have the wizards and the Force. I don't understand how we have Star Wars at its heart without the Force. Without, you know, I'm not saying Jedi's got to be jumping all over the place, and I get that people want different segments, and that's fine, and that's why I'm not hating on this if somebody likes it. But when I hear people try to tell me, and I've had people come and try to tell me, Enosh, you're wrong about this, and because somehow this is what Star Wars should be. No, if this was what every Star Wars thing was going forward, I would probably just humbly
I
just
would
be
tune
out.
out. I would literally
I would
tune
just
out.
tune out.
quit.
Everything that, but again, I'm not going to be a hypocrite about this because I've said many times of the things that I like. Every Star Wars thing doesn't have to be for everybody.
Right.
Well,
And
Tony-
I realized
Tony
that,
Gilroy also
that
said-
Resistance wasn't for me, and I realized that this isn't for me.
Well, Tony Gilroy also mentioned that he did not develop this show as a Star Wars project. He developed it as just a spy thriller, and as he
I
develops
know.
his other projects. And so it's just like I get what he's trying to do. He's like, okay, let's we had Rebels, we had all these things. Let's just take out this part of Rebels and then put more of the spy thriller part in Rebels, and this is what Andor is. But at the same time, the first 3 episodes that we got weren't that very exciting.
No, it's just boring.
Yeah, it's
And
just
then-
it's dull. There's no
And then
personality.
to me, the episode 6 was actually pretty exciting, more exciting than the previous episodes.
I haven't seen.
Well, that's the thing. Like
so
for
I
me, it's
can't
like my
say that.
expectations for the show have been like,
Dude, your
just
mic
so
is
low.
extremely hot.
Yeah, you came in yelling. Basically.
What the fuck?
Does Tiffany know you speak about microphones like that, sir?
Is that better or no?
Does Tiffany know what?
You said the mic is extremely hot.
Oh,
Magic 8 Ball. By the way, all of you who gave super chats, you have access to the Magic 8 Ball. That's the whole point of the Magic 8 Ball. If you give a super chat or you become a member, you have access to the Magic 8 Ball. So, Magic 8 Ball. Is TW's return to the lounge short-lived?
Yes.
No.
As I see it, yes.
Okay, bye, guys.
The 8 Ball has spoken.
And also like,
Well, okay, we'll let you stay. We'll let you stay, TW, but you must kiss the mole. I want to hear it. I heard it. I heard something there. I don't know if it was kissing. It sounded more like a slap of some kind.
Whoa.
You know, if you never mind. Just watch yourself.
and also there was like an article that say that Andor is the most lowest Disney show and views wise. I was like, I mean, it kind of makes sense, and I mean, Mandalorian Obi-Wan is a popular character than Andor is. Let's be honest.
I mean, it's not just the fact that Mandalorian and them is a more popular character. It's just the fact that the way they tell their stories is more engaging. There's a little bit more life to their shows.
Yeah,
this feels kind of soulless, to be honest.
And that's the reason why I'm not watching it, because I don't care about the
Well, I
character.
think my expectations for 6 were so low that I ended up enjoying it because it was exciting and the way it was filmed, I thought was actually well done.
RJ, you sound you sound a little hurt when you were saying that. You sound like
I'm trying to talk very low that way in case it doesn't blow up again.
Just somebody stab you.
It sounds like RJ's very hurt by Enosh and DL.
No, I don't really care for the show that much, to be honest. I'm just watching it just to watch it at this point.
I will say, yeah, just like the set pieces in episode 6. I'm not saying they were bad; they were well done. But it's just, I wish I could care about the characters that are dealing with these situations. It would make me be more invested if I cared about these characters. It's the same problem with Rogue One. That entire set piece, the last 45 minutes, was incredible. But I don't care about anybody in that action set piece. I don't care about anybody. So it's it feels like
no, Larry,
visual noise.
Larry, he has not. Not. And according to what he says in Rogue One, he shouldn't be meeting K2SO for a while.
Didn't they say season 2 that he's going to meet the character?
Yeah.
How are they making? How are they making 2 more seasons? How are they making 2 more seasons?
Yeah,
they're only making one more. 12 in season 1, 12 in season 2.
You know,
and it makes me even more mad that hearing about the behind the scenes stuff, how much resources they put into this show. Like they actually went on location to shoot this, and like the effects are awesome in the show.
There was a scene where we saw a guy eating space cereal.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
and
saw that clip
blue
on Twitter.
noodles. But it's like it's sad how much resources they put into this show, but they couldn't do that for Obi-Wan.
Because they didn't care about Obi-Wan.
But you care about Andor. One of the most boring characters in Star Wars right now.
Jar Jar's Faja has a Magic 8 Ball question. It's the question of the night. It really is the question of the night. Oh, Magic 8 Ball, $1.99 discounted Magic 8 Ball from Goodwill with a smudge right there on your side. Will Ezra stay on as the Flash? Ask again later.
Oh shit.
Yep, that's exactly just
Magic 8 Ball. We learned last episode Magic 8 Ball sometimes gets a little bit of a attitude problem. Did I get called racist for not liking Andor?
We're talking about people on Twitter.
No,
People
I
on
have
Twitter
not.
saying that.
I have
Well,
I
I'm sure
not.
you will.
Is that a thing? I'm racist if I don't like
You
Andor?
you are racist
You're
for not
racist,
liking
Enos.
Andor. You are sexist for not liking Andor. You are
I'm sexist.
Sexist.
You are everythingist for not liking Andor.
I'm pretty sure it's people on Twitter calling that you're racist when you're not watching Andor. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with people? You said Twitter's not real life. Thank you for saying
Look,
that.
if you guys
Someone
enjoy-
said 6% of Twitter. 6% of life is on Twitter. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Look,
having no life.
Look,
maybe.
if you, I would
if
just
you
tell
enjoy
everybody right
Andor,
now.
that's fine. Like
If you enjoy it, it's great.
I'm
I don't have a
glad.
problem with it. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad. And
Yeah,
I'm not
I
saying that
love it.
sarcastically. I'm not saying that sarcastically. If
Oh, I
you
know.
like it, that's great. I just don't. I've been trying. Honestly, Tiffany and I both have felt the exact same way. Unfortunately, like we will start an episode and then we will wake up as the credits are running.
Yeah, literally, we go to sleep halfway through the
Yes.
episode because it's that dull.
I have had to restart like 2 or 3 of the episodes that I've already watched.
Okay, screw Peter Rabbit. I know my voice is not sexy. Like I get that. Thank you. I sound like the nanny's kid in the Halloween 2018. Yeah, I know my voice is not hot. I get it.
Did anyone watch the new
That's
Halloween
fucked
movie?
up, dude. Julian was a douchebag too. That's effed up, dude. He
All
called
right,
you the
well-
annoying little douchebag kid.
Hey, all I know is this. All I know is this. I'm a happy man because Henry Cavill's back. Superman's back.
Superman's back.
Things are good. Things
The
are
gold
good.
is back.
We'll put the people on camera up here. The Rock has done us all a good service. Walter Hamada's crying in his beer. He doesn't even have a production deal. He's gone. He's mad. He's upset. J.J. Abrams is down there. Doesn't know what the hell's going on.
He stole
He doesn't know.
$250
He doesn't know if he's producing a movie or whatever because he's Scrooge McDuck and he's just swimming in his money. Ezra is a little apprehensive down there. He's waiting for his court date. Henry's back. The Rock's happy. Zaslav's happy. We're all happy, except for Hamada, and that's a good day. Hamada,
Goodbye.
you. Hamada, me. Hamada, you. Guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Look, I love playing the long game. I love waiting things out and seeing how they work. And you know what? No truer words have ever been said.
They're trying. Let me just break it down for you like this. I can summarize everything up in simply 2 words. You lost.
You know he took the L to there, right?
I know. I'm just teasing him. I'm just teasing him because he.
Well, I mean, he's taking the L right now. I mean,
Oh, that is true. Yeah, unfortunately.
Hey man. I'm not mad at him.
Hey,
I'm not
man.
mad at him. I'm not mad at him. And you know, just one for old time's sake because somebody brought it up on Twitter this week. Nicotina's mom. Oh yeah. Nicotina's mom. There you go. So Superman's no longer on ice.
Oh my god.
Trip to Atlantis isn't looking too good for him.
Damn, imagine getting a new suit after getting in the wet. That's crazy.
Yeah. But hey, good times are ahead, folks. We got a lot to look forward to, and a new Superman movie. So, look, I'm looking forward to that, and starring Henry Cavill. I have faith that whatever happens, listen, let's wait and see, right? Let's wait and see.
Yep.
Let's wait and see. But thanks to everybody who's here tonight. Thank you to everyone who gave super chats. I will have everything updated as far as those of you who are patrons and members for our next stream. And everybody's in for this bad boy right here. So that's cool. Guys, did you hear that I got a new guitar?
No.
Yeah, I got a Taylor guitar. I got a Taylor 818 or 814.
Are you gonna play it?
It's the 818. The 818. Not right now. It's in the other
14 or whatever it is.
Is it the 814 or the 818 or whatever it is? Anyways,
I'll go look.
Yeah, I think it's the 818. Hold on a second. I can tell you right now. Hold on a second.
Something in the
way.
Every time hearing that song in the Batman.
Something in
Just turn into whale calls, man. Down.
Yep.
Just turns into 90s rock crooners, man.
You're gonna hear that again in Batman too.
Don't make me do it. I'll break my guitar out. Don't make me do it.
You're gonna see that in Batman too again. That song for $5,000.
You think we'll hear it again?
That'll be the main theme. I bet you.
What is a serious thing? Is gonna.
God help us.
Here in the world.
It's a good song. It's just I don't want to hear that shit again.
Yeah, dude, they played that so many times in the movie. I'm like,
Yeah,
Jesus
that's a good
Christ.
one, man, bro.
All right. Did you
Yeah, that's a-
copyright using that theme, Matt Reeves?
Yeah, we got the good sponsor.
Nirvana gets paid every time they play that theme.
Yeah, but Matt Reeves probably pick another Nirvana music for his Batman probably.
Yeah. So don't forget also to go visit our friends at bullysticksdirect.com. We love bullysticksdirect.com. My dogs are always happy when you visit bullysticksdirect.com. Why bullysticksdirect.com? Well, because Bully Sticks are awesome treats and chews for your dog. And my friends at Bully Sticks Direct make the best bully sticks out there. They're all natural and preservative free, no added hormones or antibiotics, and full of quality and consistency. They're great for keeping your dog occupied. My dogs this week.
Why does the pork ones look like dog nose?
Because you're supposed to.
Because
that's literally what they are. It's a pig's nose. It's a pig snout. That's why it's pork.
Confirm. Caden doesn't have a dog.
I do have a dog.
No, you don't.
Two.
He does.
Hey, it alleviates boredom, lessens anxiety. It's fun. It's fun.
See, it's not that Caden doesn't have a dog, so he doesn't know what animals look like. He apparently has never seen a pig before.
No,
it alleviates boredom. It's healthy.
I think Caden needs a bully stick.
Oh my god.
Caden needs to read a book.
You
need to read.
All right.
a
Well,
book.
listen.
Pretty
My dog
savvy
loves
getting
them.
bullied by RJ
Here's a
right
little
now.
fun. Go to bullysticksdirect.com. Use code Poindexter for 10% off your order. Also, go follow them right here on Facebook or on Facebook. Follow them on Facebook. Follow them on YouTube. Technically, it's correct because we're on Facebook right now too. But follow them on YouTube. I do all the stuff for YouTube and for TikTok. Follow them on TikTok, and it's fun. Watch this.
Books to dogs. with Wookie.
All right, Wook. What do you get when you cross an aggressive dog with a computer? A lot of bites. Nothing? Seriously?
Thank you, dog. Thank
Wookie,
you
I recently planted a pet tree. It's a lot like a pet dog, except for the bark isn't as loud.
Damn.
Oh, I got a
Who's
grin.
gonna kick
I
up
got
the
a
lawn
grin.
for jokes like that.
All right, Wook. In English class, why do dogs love conjunctions? Because dogs love butts. There it is. There it is. And there's a bully stick. Good boy. So there you go.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
It's a knee slapper.
Funny, bro.
Ha ha ha.
Kaden is a
ha,
Walter Hamada supporter.
ha.
Shush.
Anthony, you support your Joogies.
I can confirm that Caden has no cats anywhere near him.
Oh.
He has no
Is that a
kitties.
joke that he has? I thought that was a joke that he has no friends.
No, he's just not old enough to get that joke yet.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
Evil Kermit to sing.
Do we need evil
Kermit
Kermit?
the Frog.
Oh my god.
Did we determine what my name was?
Snake Eyes too.
Hey,
Your name is Snake Eyes too.
Hey, Brodan, come here.
I'm not coming near that thing, bro. Keep me away
Kiss the mole! Pucker up and kiss my mole directly on the hairy part.
Yeah, French kiss that shit.
Tongue the mole. Give the mole a little tongue. The mole likes to get the French. The French kiss of the mole. You can be the first, Brodan.
Kiss it.
I swear, I will mail you that goddamn movie. I will.
Something in the way.
Oh boy.
Something in the way. It's my mole. Tried to get a girlfriend, but something's in the way.
Sounds like someone's
Tried to
trying
get
pass
girls, but
something.
something's in the way. It's my mole. Caden also tried to get a girlfriend, but something was in the way. It was the fact that he still lives with his mom.
Oh shit.
Which only works for the girls who like his mom, which is okay too. Whatever, float your boat, but something's in the way. It's Caden's mom because she's stealing all Caden's
I don't
chicks.
want to watch the Batman 2. I don't even want to watch the Batman 2 now. Thanks.
Good to know which Batman too.
Something's in the way of you enjoying Batman 2.
I wonder what it is.
It's a song called Something's in the Way.
I'm gonna go rewatch that movie with my dad, and it's just gonna hear me laughing. Why are you laughing? No reason.
You're right.
I mean, to be honest, the Penguin did kill a lot of people in that. Enos, right? He killed a lot of people, right? Like, come on. Yeah, he killed them. Batman killed people.
Dude, every Batman, live action Batman has killed people. Like, stop it.
There's something in the mold. It's a hair.
Isn't this a challenge like on TikTok? That people singing something in the way. If not, we should make it a challenge now.
It is now.
Something in the way challenge.
Something in my mole.
It's just,
to be fair,
you just
Batman
walk up to
Begins.
something in your house you can't physically move and just start playing that song.
I mean, to be fair, Batman Begins is a better movie.
Oh yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do a challenge.
Something in the way. It's a microphone.
Whoa.
That's a nice
Whoa.
ASMR.
Whoa.
That's a nice ASMR right there.
Hey.
But
Don't judge me.
And demonetized.
Don't judge me. Yeah, you're
Let's,
doing the same
if
thing
it
at home
is,
every
Herman
night.
does on his time is
Oh,
his
what?
business.
Wait, what'd you say?
You heard me. Kiss my mole.
No.
You're doing the same thing at home every night. You're kissing
No.
my mole.
The girls are doing that to me, but no.
Whoa. A sex doll
if they were doing it to you, it'd be like,
sex doll doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, is it there? I don't know. Is it in my mouth yet?
Oh,
I don't know.
You know what?
Well, something's in the way, I guess. I don't know.
Nothing's in the way.
Damn.
DL has his pants down. Nothing's in the way.
You know what? Kiss my mole.
You should get that mole checked.
Yeah, you might want to, man. Those sex dolls aren't clean.
Something.
What did Enosh was Daredevil ruined for you and shit?
No, I hate when people ask this fucking question.
No.
Bro, walk of shame, bro. Go walk of shame.
Yeah, he fucked her.
Daredevil was great.
He was awesome.
He hit that.
A lot of people got problems with that, man. I'm sorry that Daredevil didn't like watch a dude get like killed, like beat half to death, you know, or like slam
I'm
his
sorry
head
that,
into a spike.
that
I'm
Daredevil
sorry.
was doing flips. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry
he did
that
flips
Marvel
in
has.
the Netflix show. He's been doing ridiculous flips all the time. What are you talking about?
But he wasn't doing the flips that he did in that episode.
They didn't have the
Is
budget
the-
for that
Is the
anyway.
issue
Yeah, Netflix
like
is
is the
poor.
issue with the walk of shame is the issue that like they hooked up or the issue that Daredevil's the one doing the walk of shame?
Daredevil.
I think it's fucking hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's very. I haven't even watched the show and I think it's very funny.
Yeah,
I like that. The fact he's walking in the suit, not giving a half a damn, and just like, yeah,
Someone
that's not even a
said-
walk of shame, guys. That's the walk of pride.
Someone
That's the
said,
pride walk.
"How dare Matt Murdock sleep with Jennifer Walters? He's a
How
Christian,
dare Matt
he's a
Murdock
Catholic,
get
and he
some?
must,
How
he must
dare
save
he?
his mom."
He slept around with
Tell me
women
you've never.
in the
Tell me
Netflix
you've
show.
never. Tell me you've
Really?
never read a Daredevil comic without telling me you've never read
No.
a Daredevil comic.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's lighthearted. And
I'm like,
he's
yeah.
lighthearted sometimes.
Someone said,
But,
yeah.
but we
didn't
have
you know that
questions though.
Jen
Did
and
She-Hulk like, you know, did She-Hulk come when she was? Never mind.
Okay, don't. Just stop. We don't need it.
Oh please! You just deep throated a microphone. Don't lecture me.
Actually, it was Kermit.
That's the question I would want to ask with the first guy that She-Hulk.
Well,
Yeah, you
can lean in close.
What the fuck?
Wait a minute.
That's a zoom in right there.
And kiss them all. Kiss my mole.
It smells like shit.
You're smelling your upper lip.
Listen, I'm not DL messing with freaking sex dolls, all right, man?
Who said I was messing with sex dolls? What the heck is wrong with you?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be the new running joke. It's great.
All right.
It's
So
weird
I'm gonna put cultist Kermit
Cultist Kermit. There we go.
Colton Kermit.
back in the script.
Cult leader
Don't do
Kermit.
me like that.
All right. Well, I gotta go, folks. It's getting late. It's getting late.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta get up in 4 hours. So, love you all. Thank you all for being here. Rupert, you want his name to be Rupert? We should have a
Rupert.
I should do a
You-
thing maybe of
you know
like the
date that
patrons or the members get to
Rupert?
vote for like his name.
Sure.
That'd be great.
Wasn't it a gay teddy bear though?
There you go. I noticed your comment. There you go. I noticed it.
He should have saggy.
Don't feed him. Ugh.
I noticed the wrong comment. That's the thing.
Ooh.
But is it though?
Is it?
Something in the way.
Let's see if I put
Marcus
Brodan down. If I
getting
put
the
Brodan
job.
down here by the rock, there's something
covered
in the
in
way.
That's a bad thing for me. I'm a Canes fan. This is what I want. This is all I want. I want to be right by that man.
You want to be behind the rock?
You want to kiss his
Damn.
bullhead?
There,
Right
both
behind
you
that
and
man.
both
Doesn't
you
matter
and
what
DL
you
can
want.
be behind the rock. There
What?
you go.
Damn right.
The Rock. I mean,
No DL,
while
it's not a sex
Brodan,
doll.
while Brodan is eating,
I don't
the
have
Rock,
a sex doll.
DL will be
Clip
kissing
that.
the Rock.
Why are
when
you
he
so
walks.
upset that he says you have a sex doll?
This is
He
great.
He just said that out of nowhere. I'm like, what?
He has like a bunch
No
of sex
context.
dolls. He has like a whole like
This is-
laid out.
Well
Where's
now,
Great.
Brodan
We
is having a
have-
threesome with Hamada and Cavill,
And so what if
We
I
have
am,
Isaac-
motherfucker? What you gonna
we
do
have
about it?
and
We
then
have Isaac
DL
with
having a
the out of
foursome with Miller
context
and JJ Abramson Zaslav.
That's a
Leave out
city
the out of
force.
context
That
Max.
is
We need out of
shitty, bro.
context DL.
At least I'm getting Henry Cavill out of this, man. That's a dub for me. I don't know about you. Shit.
I got The Rock, so I mean,
Yeah, let me say The Rock.
I got JJ.
All right. Well, hey guys, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter, but seek to have good conversations. And at the end of the day, you know what? There'll always be a place for you in the Poindexter Lounge if you treat everybody with respect. But remember, today and this last week has been a good day and a good week for anybody who's a fan of this man right here. Stay tuned. There's more coming. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you tomorrow night. All right.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Something in the way.